Okay, what did I do to my camera? Oh, there we go. Well, everything was messed up today, wasn't it? Alright, what's going on, guys? How we all doing? I'm so sorry for being late. I was at work. I drove 2 hours home. I had a very, very long job to do today, so I appreciate you all coming by. I don't know who said it the other day, was Mike's enthusiasm for DOA5 all fake? Well, you have your answer now. Now, obviously, you can tell from the title, there's going to be a little call-in today. The reason for it, I'll give you guys the backstory. Fate made a very horrible video about Tom Brady. I drove 2 hours home, so I was like, you know what, I'll listen to it. It was an hour and 40 minutes. Said a lot of bullshit in there. Tom didn't like it, so Tom's going to call him out today. Now, what I will say is that I listened to the whole video, and, Fate never fails to... Wait, why is it doing that? Fate is quite possibly one of the most stupid people I've ever heard try to get a point across. He contradicted himself 100 times in that video. Tried to come across snarky and just came across completely brain dead. So I'm gonna give Tom the floor once he gets here. I'm gonna call him on Discord and let him say his piece, and then we'll go from there. Let me just Also, I am in the middle of eating. I'm so sorry for my... Oh god, I'm gonna get cooked. I'll have some of that, mate. Oh shit. Come on. Yeah, I know about those ones. I know about them. Oh no. Let me... The game mute audio muted? Let me check. Oh, yeah, my bad. I had it mute. Sorry, guys. I literally just walked in. I worked like... I was up since 6 a.m. working, so... Forgive me for being unprepared. Oh, look at those staggers. I know what I'm doing, fam. Yeah? I know what I'm doing. Yeah, get her out of here. Oh no. Allow it. Oh, I tried to delay it. Yeah, I still don't know any combos, but I do understand the basic premise of this game now. I do understand the basic premise of it. The voices are really deep. For fuck's sake, man. Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. Streams are shambles right now. I'll fix it. Oh, what? Winning my first game? Come on! Let's have it! Right, let me fix the sound, sorry. Can I let someone else fight so I can, No? Shit. Let me see if I can call Tom. GG, Sam. Alright, I'm calling him. Let me message him. Sorry about that. Sorry, I was just calling Tom. Oh, didn't know she could do that. I don't want to finish my food. Ooh. Jeez. Oh my god, she got me with a neck breaker. Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, this is called gap fighters, man. Gap fighters. Oh god, clear lights here. We're gonna get cooked. Oh my lord. I will not be denied. Oh, I will. Fuck. GG's. Yeah, waiting for Tom to get here. I've called him because there's a call open. Just waiting for him to jump on. He's probably just getting set up. Gonna enjoy my food now. How are you all doing, though? BLM, sorry, I saw your message earlier, but I was at work, so I'll chat to you after. I apologize for eating on stream. I haven't eaten all day. I was up since 6 AM working. I literally got in 10 minutes ago, set the stream up. That's why I was a hot mess. Is the are the voices still deep, by the way? How do I get that off screen? Oh. It's fixed. Okay, cool. Oh shit, have I put dynamic? Yeah, I'm so sorry about eating on stream. I know it's unprofessional. I know it's annoying. Yeah, I don't know where Tom is. He's literally. Oh, let me try calling him again. I've got to say though, guys, there are a few people on this app as stupid as fake. It's unreal. I sat through the whole video because obviously I was driving. The guy doesn't know how to listen. And I guarantee you, if he talks to Tom Brady's going to eat him alive. He doesn't know what the hell he's all about. What's going on, Grizz? Now this is on PlayStation. A whole lot of gap on my screen. What happened with Fate? So basically what happened with Fate is Tom Brady was on my stream the other day with True Underdog and Perfect Legend. And oh, that's a nice costume. I do approve. He was on my stream the other day and he made a video reiterating what he was talking about on the stream. Very clear points, very clear to understand. Fate obviously is very slow. And he thought that Tom was glazing Ed Boon in the opening of the video because, you know, he's stupid. And then thought that Tom was contradicting himself because he wasn't listening. He then went on to make very personal remarks about Tom and told Tom to sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up, and he associates with nasty people. He said that he's not toxic, and then went on one crazy rant. He was calling Tom names. He was belittling him. He also he made a couple of dumb points, but I don't really want to spoil them. I kind of want Tom to like break it down, and if he forgets it, I will. What happened there? If he forgets, then I'll remind him. He just said so many stupid things, and I was just like, man, this guy, he's just so dumb. He's so unbelievably dumb. So if he gets into, he's not gonna come on call. I don't think he'll come on call, but Tom wants to call him out for a debate. If Tom gets into a debate with Fate, and now that Tom doesn't, because Tom has been holding back on him for a long time. If Tom gets into a debate with Fate, sorry, he's going to absolutely eat him alive. Absolutely eat him alive. So yeah, he was kind of nasty in the video. It was much more visceral towards Tom than he was to me, funnily enough. I think he's very upset that Tom is my friend. I think that really bothers him that me and Tom have an actual friendship. Really gets under his skin. So yeah, once Tom gets it, I'm sure he was literally messaging me just now, so I'm sure he's probably setting up. Tom said he liked Fate in the stream. Yeah, the thing is, yeah, it doesn't matter if you like Fate. If you're cool with me, it doesn't matter what you do. You could be a saint. Oh, he will still hate you. I'm enjoying this food, man. I have not eaten all day. I have not eaten all day. I'm loving this food. The fuck is that game? Have you never heard of Dead or Alive? Not King Cold. How old are you? This game that you're seeing on screen is a legendary fighting game. Look past the ass and boobs. This is a great fighting game. This is one of the best fighting games ever made. This might not be as popular as Tekken and Virtua Fighter, but DOA is a great fighting game. DOA is a great fighting game, and I'm very disappointed that I got into it so late. Because much like you, I used to look at it and be like, man, this is just a lot of ass and titties. But there's actually a great battle system behind it. And I would say, the way they designed the female characters in terms of like their fighting styles, I actually like them more than Tekken. I know that's a hot take. I actually like them more than Tekken. I like the way Mila, I like playing Mila. Getting me to play a female character, that is like talking to a brick wall. DOA managed to do it. So yeah, this is probably the best version of DOA you'll get. DOA5 last round. It's also just like this game, the package of the game, like all the modes it offers you. It's a very good product. So if you haven't played it before, make sure you do check it out. It's just, I think it's still like £8 on the store. I'm not sure if the price went back up. Dude left when Claire showed up. Also, I gotta say, sorry, I know I'm pissing you off by eating, guys. I'm so sorry. But I gotta say, I think DOA has the best stages in any fighting game that I've seen. They're just so cool. Hey, what's going on, Despair? Yeah, I told people, man. I like that. Even when Virtua Fighter 6 comes out, I'll still do DOA streams. I really like this game. I just like watching it. I'm not even good at it yet. Nobody cares that I'm eating. You'd be surprised, bro. Some people hate it when you eat on stream. And I don't blame it. You can hear all my chewing. It's annoying. What's going on, Sketchy? How you doing, bro? Sketchy getting good at Bleach. Ain't seeing nobody else use Kenpachi, so well done to you. Hey, what's going on, Map Cobb? Am I saying that right, Map Cobb? You don't hear chewing? Oh, okay. I'm mocking it. No, I'm being serious, Sketchy. You're getting... Oh, is it me? You are getting good at it. Like, you took a game off me, bro. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but there ain't many people that could beat me on Bleach. I'll be real. You gotta get the top of the top. You know I got smoked, Mike. Yeah, no, I'm not saying. Yeah, no, 100% I did smoke you. I did, but I'm saying you got a game. I'm playing Clear Light. I'm gonna get clearly whooped. Hey, Clear Light, back up, man. Yeah, back up. Hey, you ain't about it. God damn it. Where's Tom Brady? We're waiting for him. He was messaging me literally just before I came on. Let me breathe. Ugh. Hey, Clear Light, you're not some bad man, you know. I know certain guys that will smack you up. You ain't perfecting me. You must be crazy. Oh, I can get back to my food. Been following your channel for some months. I'm not gonna lie, I'm seriously disappointed by your lack of smash or pass on fighting game roster. Well, Dragon, I don't know if that's a game that do you guys want to play smash or pass? That seems kind of weird. I'm not. I like real women, bro. I can appreciate the character models, but you guys really want to play smash or pass? Where did it all go wrong with DOA6? I'm not knowledgeable enough on DOA, bro. I just like it. Let me call Tom on Twitter. Let's shit on the screen. I'm sure he'll get here soon. Guna mic stream would be generational. We do Guna streams. We do actually do them, but not Smash or Pass. I play those Korean dating games on stream sometimes. It's been a couple of months since I did, but they've all got real women in them. Like these gorgeous Asian women. That's more acceptable because they're real women. I don't think I want to play Smash or Pass on a video game. I watched every video on Smash drama scandals in the recent years. This shit is insane. Never seen people like this anywhere. Yeah, bro, the Smash scene or something else. There's something else. I spoke to Technicals a little bit the other day. We spoke for about like half an hour before I went back to bed. And I told him that if he needs anything, like it shouldn't just be him carrying the burden of exposing these people. So I said, if he needs anything, just let me know. But yeah, Smash. That scene on both sides, not just like the side that Technicals is exposing, but the other side of it as well. They're all mad. No, not all of them actually. I've spoken to a lot of people in the Smash scene recently who are disgusted by what has happened. So I'm not gonna say all. I should also specify it's not Smash Bros. They told me to make the distinction the way they do in Guilty Gear. Melee, Brawl, Ultimate, they're all separate seeds. They said that the really bad shit is Melee. So that's my understanding. Tom is calling out fake, yep. Gonna be here soon. He just saw my message, so I don't know what he's doing. You know Tom's got internet problems, he's probably setting up. Can we talk about how much Fatal Fury flopped? Yeah. I mean, look. I said it a couple times, but I didn't want to be too negative on Fatal Fury because I knew a lot of people were excited. I was a fan of Mark of the Wolves, so I was kind of excited for City of the Wolves. But yeah, I'm not surprised. It's just SNK games don't have that kind of reach. They just don't have that kind of reach. I was never under the illusion that Fatal Fury was gonna bang. It's a great game, don't get me wrong. But I think this idea that you can just get guest characters that are popular celebrities or guest characters from anywhere. I think when Mortal Kombat popularized, because obviously Soul Calibur did it first to like on a popular level, but MK brought in Kratos and Freddy. Tekken really made it popular with Negan, and Geese and Akuma and Noctis. But now I feel like we've reached the point now where it's like just putting a guest character in the game is not going to sell the game. It has to be the right guest characters. There can't be an abundance of them either. I think people are starting to get sick of that stuff. Cristiano Ronaldo and the DJ, that just... Hello? Yo, yeah, I can hear you, bro. I was trying to call you on Discord. Alright, cool. Alright, we'll get back to the Fatal Fury discussion. Tom's going to jump on Discord. You know Clear Light is one of the very best players in Europe. Yeah, I know. I had to tell Emery Reigns, yeah, tell Clear Light to relax. I get it, like DOA, people don't play it often, so like, he wants to jump in, which I'm all for, but I've got to tell him to like come off the pad for a bit and let other people play, because like this is just like we're not gonna be able to beat him. He's too experienced. Eating that British food. I'm having some chicken and chips right now, mate. I ain't eating all day. Normally I wouldn't eat this trash, but it's going down pretty good right now. Yeah, normally I would eat my honey chicken, some eggs, maybe a steak. But I was working from 6 AM and I'm knackered. Alright, clear light, get off, bro. Go to the back of the line. Give other people a chance. Is this an open lobby? Yeah, it's an open lobby. No, it's not Morley's. Morley's is overrated, bro. My boy put me onto Morley's a little while ago. I don't know if it was the chain that I went to, but it was shit, bro. It was rubbish. No, actually, we didn't even go to it. We ordered in. We were all the boys were over. We were playing fighting games. He was like, "Yeah, Morley's, bro, Morley's. I'm telling you, blah." He come back from Australia, so we're like, "Okay, let's indulge him." Crash. How do you join? Just gotta boot up and find the lobby, bro. That's it. Are we getting Fate on? Fate wants to jump on, he can, but Fate's not very good at debating people. He's only good at talking behind the monitor when no one else is there, so probably not. Because to be honest with you, Tom will probably deep fry him. Fate could not hang in a conversation with people with more than 2 brain cells. I did offer him and Dragoon, because Dragoon's another one that talks with a lot of confidence and doesn't know what the hell he's on about. I did say, I messaged them politely. I was like, "Hey, neither of you know what you're on about." This was a while ago. I said, neither of you know what you're on about. Would you like to jump on and debate? I was originally going to ask Finn T to join me on that one. It was about second. Hey, clear light. Back of the line, bro. Back of the line, clear light. I know you can hear me. Alright, I believe Tom is on now.
Alright.
Hey Tom, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Bro, I've got to say, I watched that whole video because I was working far away and I had a 2-hour drive home. That's why my stream was a little bit late. And I have never seen him get that personal with anyone, including me. Did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I watched it.
What do you have to say to all of that?
So for one, and maybe Fate's confused about it, and maybe a few others are as well. Maybe I didn't clarify it like I needed to. I watched the beginning of the video, and I think some things get lost just from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I am not saying Ed Boon and NRS need to be absolved of accountability. What I'm saying is Ed Boon and NRS should be accountable for what they can control, what they are the decision makers of. I could literally say, well, tomorrow I'm going to abolish taxes for everyone in the United States. I didn't lie. I don't have the power to do that. You know what I mean? So you can't hold me accountable for saying I'm going to abolish taxes in the U.S. and then it doesn't happen. You have to be able to, the people that are accountable have to be held accountable. So Ed Boon, while in the past he has used the 2-year window, I believe WB has adopted his window. Be that as it may, that 2-year window is no longer in Ed Boon's control. What is in the control of NRS and what is in Warner Brothers has to be accountable to what they can control, and vice versa for Ed Boon and NetherRealm. WB controls the release date. They tell you when the game has to be released, which means they control the window of development. If a game has to be released 2 days from today and they give me that date, then they only gave you 2 years. My problem isn't with the 2-year window. And then, of course, WB also controls when content is over. Even if Ed Boon says, hey, we've got plans to make multiple more rounds of content, WB can say, hey, we don't care. That content's not coming out. Save it for another game. And Ed Boon and no one at NRS has the power to change that. So I can't hold him accountable for, well, Ed Boon, you said this. What I can do, though, is say NRS and Ed Boon can be held accountable to how the game comes out with that development window.
Yeah.
So they have control over, hey, if I know I have 2 years, the best bet to do would be create a base system and then build off that in future games. Because then you're no longer starting from scratch. You have some form of legacy, so the game still resembles, because what's happening right now is Mortal Kombat games don't resemble the game that somebody came into. So somebody comes into MK, and either by the next installment or definitely by 2 installments, they don't recognize the game anymore. They're like, it doesn't even resemble the game I like.
Yeah.
At least if there was something. And I'm not saying it needs to be identical. You can change some of the systems, tweak a lot of things around. You can still make it a complete different game, but you don't have to rebuild every normal from the ground up and reimagine every normal and every down one and every jab and redo the animation for everything. And they have no problem sharing animations when they want to rush DLC characters out. They have no problem reusing animations. They just seem to be having a problem using them from day one, but they'll reuse them when they want to, create some quick money with a DLC. So if they keep some form of legacy, at least in the character's normal moveset, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you can add and change, and I'll be elaborate on that in a second. But by doing this, they would save dev time, which allows them to focus on more content and polishing whatever system they want to implement. They can still try a new system, but they'll have more time to implement that system and flush it out, as opposed to, okay, well, it took a year to redo everything. Now that we've got a year left, or maybe less than a year, let's go ahead and figure out what we can cram into the game. And then we'll spend the last 3 months after we've crammed, like, okay, we'll do a quick invasions, we'll do this, we'll do that. Let's focus on game modes now. And how are we going to make this pesky new mode play? I mean, so it keeps people around longer because they recognize the game they fell in love with, even though a lot has changed around it. They still recognize it. It also gives NRS dev time to focus more on what has to be done. The next thing they can control, obviously, is not just what they do in that 2-year window, but how the game sells. If the game comes out more complete and more flushed out, and people recognize it as Mortal Kombat, as, oh, I love this game. This is the Mortal Kombat I enjoyed last time, or 2 years, or 2 iterations ago. The game will sell. You can create an expansion that more than likely will be received better. The expansion being received poorly is because people just had it with the first year of MK1. So the expansion being received poorly is a direct result of the first year of the game. Now, how the product sells when they choose to, because if they make new content and it doesn't do as well as WB thinks it should, then they're going to say, pull the plug.
Yeah.
So yes, it's WB's decision to pull the plug, but the reason why the plug was pulled is a direct result of how NRS made the product initially. And that will decide how the DLC sells.
Bro, I think everybody understood what you were saying. I think what people are wondering here is, I mean, obviously Fate doesn't listen properly. And he was very, 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 I feel like, unfair to you in a lot of the things he did and where he took the conversation. I think people want to see you call him out for what he did, to be honest. Because everyone understands your point. You don't have to explain it to us. We get it.
Yeah, I mean, my point is just that the 2-year window with rebuilding everything from scratch doesn't work anymore. I'm fine with the 2-year window. Lots of games have that window, but they don't rebuild from the ground up, and that's what's happening. Now, as far as Fate is concerned, Fate said a lot of things. And to me, Fate seems someone like who's angry that he didn't get a seat at the big boy table.
Right.
And I say that respectfully. Someone who's is saying and listen, I'm not going to discredit him here and say he hasn't said a lot of those things. But these things were said before Fate, and they'll probably be said after Fate. People have always realized that's the problem. For several years now, people have realized it's the problem. I'm not saying that what does it matter who says it first or not? Fate wants credit for saying it first. People, I assure you, have said it before Fate, but Fate was not wrong when he said that. There are some things that Fate is not wrong about, but the problem is there are issues that Fate would say the way he says things doesn't correlate. Where he loses people is when he tries to tie things to in-game knowledge. For example, what really started to get Fate's videos passed around was the debate he did with Foxy Grandpa. And everyone remembers he was infamous, you don't know how to uplock and blah, blah, blah. And Fate does always say, when someone like Ninja Kill or someone else brings up lack of defensive options, or I say it or whatever, Fate will say, hey, I've been saying this from day one. And to his point, he has. Fate has been saying from the beginning the game needs better defense, better defensive options, yada, yada, yada. But the fact is, when Fate prefaces that comment, which he forgets to leave out, he prefaced it by saying, like Breakaway, when I wasn't stuck in these long combos like in MK11, but the only pros cried, and that, you know this, Mike, he literally said, like Breakaway in MK11, when I could do it multiple times and I was not stuck in these long combos, but the only pros complained, and now I'm stuck in these long combos, etc. When you preface defensive options with like Breakaway in MK11, you're going to lose a lot of people because you've referenced the worst feature probably in the history of fighting games. Then, even though Fate is saying with his words, I want more defensive options, what Fate is actually conveying to other players that are top is, I want a get out of jail free card. And the two things are different. So I understand what he's saying, but the way he's conveying that point doesn't resonate with that audience that he has dubbed only pros. And I'm not trying to say that pro players cannot come off condescending or arrogant at times when it's like, well, because you're not good at the game as far as our standards go, as a competitive player, you're not a top level player, which he never claimed to be. They will oftentimes say, I will dismiss your opinion on everything. Listen, there are players who play the game for fun who are not competitive players, who can still give an opinion on things. And just because they're not top at the game does not automatically mean the opinion is wrong. There are certain opinions that are actually correct despite the player's skill level. However, Fate comes off like he is annoyed that he has said certain things that were correct and was dismissed and whatever. And I'm not here to say whether that was right or wrong, or I'm sure he does have a point there. But when he says things like players, the only pros, they only care about, when I brought up tournament numbers, what I was trying to say is that fighting games are judged by their sales and by their tournament attendance. Mortal Kombat, if you took the greater Mortal Kombat community, which is all the sub-communities, and made a game that resembled the MK they love, then they would show up to tournaments and our numbers would be as big as Street Fighter. However, because our communities are split up, the only people you're getting are the sub-community of that particular game, and you're ignoring the majority, or not ignoring, but the majority of the greater MK community just doesn't want to do it because this game doesn't resemble Mortal Kombat. So you're always getting just the current sub-community, and Street Fighter is getting, they're pulling from, because people always say, well, Street Fighter had years and years and years. They're basically admitting that Street Fighter is pulling from not just the current people on the game, but the years and years and years of people who were going to play Street Fighter and traveling for the game. And that's because Street Fighter, despite its changes, still maintains some form of legacy, although small at this point, and people still recognize it as Street Fighter, despite a lot of the changes. So that's all I was saying. And when he brought up, oh, the tournament numbers, and we don't care about competing, the end game isn't the competition, the end game is the fun. Absolutely. First part is the game should be fun. I don't disagree. But the problem is, again, when you look at I only play for fun, and I don't care about the competitive point of view because I don't play to compete. I just want a fun game. This is where the problem happens, because the casual and competitive definitions of fun are similar, but in other areas vastly different. No casual player who plays for fun wants a competitive player to dictate how a game should be fun or not fun to them. And I understand that opinion, and rightfully so. The problem is, when you are someone like Fate, you are forgetting that I don't care how fun a fighting game is. If you take any casual and put him against the highest, or them, I should say, against the highest level of play, it's not going to be fun. Even Fate, who claims that he's a true MK guy and MK9 was the real soul of MK because they took Tobias's stuff, I'm not denying that. I have said many times they took John Tobias's story and John Tobias's idea and said, redo it. I'm not denying that, but there is some innovations, the meter system. That's not a Tobias thing. Tobias was gone after MK4. But if you want to say that this is whatever and it was good and was for the fans, if you put Fate, who would say MK9 is fun, against Rio's Cabal, he would not have very much fun. He would never get near it, and if he did, he would never get out of a block pressure at that level. Never. Or someone like Turbo's Cabal. Yeah. If you took him and put him against Dizzy Knee, he would never move once Dizzy got in, or Foxy's Johnny, or Turbo's Johnny. He would never move. Or PL's Lau. He would just be a statue while PL is moving at light speed around him. Or Pig of the Hut. Can you imagine if he played against Prime, Darth Vader, Pig of the Hut Kenshi? He would never come close to Pig. He would never get past half screen. M2 Dave's Prime Freddy. He would never get past half screen. And he would talk about how it's not fun, and this is bad, and this is bad, and this is bad. MK9 is the classic example of a fun game where people who only played for fun would be absolutely miserable if they played against the highest competitive level, and they would say, this has to go, this has to go, this has to go. The competitive world and the casual world, in order for them to exist in the same light, casual players just have to avoid playing at a competitive level. Because no matter how good or fun a game is, somebody at the highest level, they're always going to abuse some stupid shit that is not going to be very fun. The only reason why it's fun for competitive players is they know how to abuse stupid shit back to level the playing field, which a casual player is not going to be interested in doing because that's not what they find fun. And Fate seems to miss this point.
Would you be willing to debate him then?
I'd be definitely willing to be willing to debate Fate, and I can do so without calling him out. Now, I do want to address one last thing. When I say I'm done, it's not because, and Mike, you've seen this. People like Fate will say, people got tons of positive comments on your YouTube videos. But Mike, I pointed out to you many times. People say, oh, you're crying to your daddy, Mike Hollow. But I pointed out because people will act like I'm making it up. The very people that post these great comments on the YouTube video come at me on Twitter and other streams and say, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's crying. Shut up. Move on. Why does anyone listen to him? But yet these very same people pop up my YouTube channel and say, yeah, you get him, Tom. I don't know why he's leaving. True or false?
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
So my point is that I don't want to make videos anymore or be part of the FGC really because I'm not. Look, people are entitled to consider me a clown, a fool who doesn't understand fighting games, never did, never will, who was never good at anything, never really did anything, even though I did plenty. But if their opinion is it doesn't count or whatever, I'm not here to discredit their opinion. And if they want to consider me a clown who doesn't know anything and shouldn't say anything, who's not an expert and should not be taken as such, that's their opinion, and they're rightfully allowed to feel that way. But I'm also rightfully allowed to say, hey, man, I got a lot going on in my life. That's great. I don't want to be around or amusement or fodder for people who look at me like a clown whenever I speak.
Yeah.
You choose to look at me that way and see. And look, we all know this. We all know what the narrative, despite the facts, the narrative is I was never good at anything, never did anything. None of it counts. I don't know what I'm talking about. For a narrative to be that, it takes years and years of many, many people to do that, to rewrite somebody's history. And I say, that's okay, but I just don't. It used to bother me, and I used to make videos about it and talk about it, and it used to bother me on stream, and I would give into the trolling. But now I'm at the point I say, I don't care, let them have that opinion. I don't want to make videos under under that narrative anymore. So I just choose to bow out rather than let it bother me or care. Because if I'm going to make videos and take time and talk like an expert, I certainly don't want to be the meme of the internet, like, oh, this idiot who talks like an expert and he's an idiot. That's fine. I don't like that, which is why I decided to move on. Now, as far as the incident Fate's talking about, there was no scam. There was never any scam. You have got to be a stupid motherfucker to think someone who makes over $300,000 a year and who has given, and you've seen, Mike has seen my bank statements. Not only have people seen the house I live in, the cars I drive, I even sent Mike 6 months of bank statements, recent ones. So he sees how that I make between 24 and 30,000 every single month, like clockwork, guaranteed. True or false?
Yeah, true.
And you have seen the receipts that in 2024, I gave out at least $20,000 to people who have asked me for money.
They're also true.
So why would that guy need $500?
I couldn't tell you.
Doesn't make any sense. Now, obviously, someone will say in 2019, Tom, you weren't making that kind of money. True, but I wasn't flat broke. What I did was wrong. But what I did wasn't take money. I gave the money back because I didn't go. And ultimately, I decided I didn't want to go. And then people leave out the fact that that Saturday evening, I didn't pretend like I was there and, oh, you didn't see me. That Saturday evening, I said, I wasn't there. I'll be refunding donations. When I came back on that Monday, everyone had their money back. And when I streamed, people acted like I couldn't pull any evidence up. Not only did Pig of the Hut and James MK get my location as I sent it to them from my iPhone while I was in New Jersey, so they knew where I was. People knew that I was there. 2, I had receipts for my travel to New Jersey. Now, the tournament was in Philadelphia. I was there with friends on a Friday night, and I decided I don't like MK11. I'm not going to this tournament. That was my decision. Yes, money was donated. I made the decision not to go, and that I would ultimately give it back. And I never pretended that I was there. When people said, where's Tom? I said, I'm not there. Here's your money back. When I came back on Monday, it was blown out to be this thing where Tom came back. No one got his money. He's making excuses why no one could get it. And I've said this on your stream, and everyone knows this. When I came back, everyone had their money back. I had my receipt for travel. I prepaid for the event over $100, which was non-refundable. So it's not like I pocketed it. And then I had Uber receipts for my travel, going to see friends and family for that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. What sparked the Thursday was I didn't have an Uber receipt for my travel on Thanksgiving, going from my family's house to a friend's house. And they said, aha, where's the receipt for that day, Tom? We need your whereabouts for every day. And I had the Uber site at that moment, I believe it was, I could be wrong. I don't know. But whatever the reason, there was some reason I couldn't log on to it. Down from, I don't know what it was. Password, whatever the reason I couldn't. But I had in my email the Uber receipts. And you know it's true because if there was a date wrong on them, they would have found it because they found the Thursday. And all those receipts were heavily examined. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, all legit. But then so they knew where I was. But where was I on that Thanksgiving, that fatal day? And rather than just saying, I don't have it, I couldn't find it in my email. I'm not able to log into to the Uber site. So, as soon as I can get in, I'll show that for their Thursday. Instead, I panicked and I did forge the receipt. And at that moment, I felt justified because I'm like, I'm not lying. I was really there, but it was deceitful. And I alone am to blame for the reason why I was accused of scamming, because that decision gave them ground to say, if this is true, that's true. And it's like the retraction. And it's like the retraction on the back page. The next day, when I went live, because I did, and showed the real Uber receipt from the site directly, so I couldn't whatever. It was live on the site, pulled it up from my web browser. Nobody cared. Damage was done. Enough people had seen it. And the 50, 60 people, 100 people that saw it didn't matter. It wasn't enough. And then the score and blah, blah, blah. So while I didn't scam anybody, I was deceitful. I had to take accountability for that. And I alone am to blame for why it was considered a scam because of my actions, even though I scammed no one out of money. But that
Tom,
is not why.
Can I ask you a question, bro?
Yeah.
Why do you give Fate so much grace? Because like he ultimately brought it up so he could get a reaction out of you, which he's gotten now. Why do you give him so much grace when he talks about you in such a derogatory way?
Because I don't believe I need to stoop down to Fate's level. The truth, and another reason why I lied about that receipt and forged it, at that time I felt like I needed the FGC, like it was a big part of my life. I had a hard time getting out. When you're not successful somewhere else in life, you tend to cling to the thing you were the most successful in. And I was known in the FGC. I was, even if only as a clown, some people knew who I was. And I had results and I had success. Even if to everyone else it's irrelevant and it doesn't count, I traveled for 30 years and those memories matter to me. And I had accomplishments. And I didn't really have very much in the real world. And for anyone that laughs, I've shown Mike the receipt. Some of your best MK players in the world are absolute losers in the real world. And they do some scummy shit. And then those people come to me for money after getting fucked over by some of your most top and beloved players. True or false, Mike? And you've seen the receipts.
Yeah,
and seen those people.
Yeah, I have seen the receipts. I've told these guys loads of times. There's things that I know about people in the scene. Obviously, there's stuff you've told me that I keep between us, but it is true. I have seen things from people in the MK scene and other scenes where even there's some people that I really strongly hate, but I haven't said anything because it's really fucked up. And obviously Tom knows what I'm talking about, but yeah, I mean that's your story to tell. I'm never gonna tell anyone about that stuff, even if these people like get angry at me. But yeah, no, Tom's not lying. There's some really fucked up things that go on behind the scenes.
And there are many things that when people say, well, Tom, that was a big part of your life, and da da da, loser. I mean, that's a majority of your top MK players, boys. They may not want to say it publicly. They stay very hidden. They have sources that protect them, but their sources don't protect them when they come to me and ask me for money. And I say, well, why don't yada yada yada? They don't have anything. All they have is MK and streaming, and they don't do anything. So believe me, I know all your dirty secrets, and I choose not to air them. And I have the receipts, even though this community chooses to destroy me and beg on me constantly. But I was not successful at something else in life yet. My life was in the FGC for 30 years. And now I'm older. I have kids. I have family to take care of. And I was struggling with finding that next thing that I'm successful in to take care of my family and clinging to my success in the FGC as if it mattered or meant something. So, I mean, that's kind of where I was at that point.
Yeah.
At this point, no. And like I said, the reason why I took my videos down, the main reason why, is because I feel like, as Fate will say, oh, he's got 25,000 subscribers. Why would he stop? Because the reason why I make videos now is to try to use what small platform I have to be a voice. And you do this too, Mike, to be a voice for people who just aren't known enough to get anyone to notice what they're saying, right? So someone like you or I can speak for thousands of people who don't feel like they're being heard. So I was doing my videos like that. But those very same people who I was speaking for turn around, and you know this, Mike, will say, well, just shut up and move on. Play something else. Who cares? And I'm like, well, if you think I'm crying and complaining and I'm voicing your literal, they'll come to you and say, hey, say this, say that. And then when you do, oh my God, the crying, the complaining, the whining, or whatever. And when Fate says, oh, he doesn't cry and complain, all Fate has done is cry, oh, woe is me. They don't, the only pros, they say this and that. Bro, if at least I can admit that when I was at some point on stream in my streaming day saying, nobody cares, nobody respects me. Yeah, I was crying about it. It bothered me.
Yeah.
At least man up and say you're crying about it now. I mean, you're hurt. His feelings are hurt. And that's really what's happening here.
When you say that he wants a seat at the big kids table, what do you mean by that?
He wants a seat at the table of opinions that matter in a community that doesn't respect his take. The high level community.
Right.
Because I can promise you, if Fate talks to a lot of casual players who only play for fun, a lot of them agree with him. And I'm not disagreeing with his opinion on what these players who only play for fun feel, and their points are legitimate and should be taken seriously. The problem is some of those points counteract with the point of a competitive player. And There are just certain things that a casual player will not agree with a competitive player on because they don't see eye to eye. Zoning is a big one. I'm not saying this is Fate, but I promise you, if Fate played some of the top tier players who were zoners in MK9, it would be a different conversation about what's fun and what's not. So when you see these people, I don't come online to chase. This was boring. I hope they get rid of this. These are not competitive players. These are players who playing for fun, who entered a competitive mode of play, who then were going up against people playing to compete, who are not happy with the tactics being used on them. All you did is run. All you did is zone. All you did is this. Okay, well, when competitive meets casual, it's the casuals who are not going to have very much fun, because no matter what you do to a game, and you know this, Mike, competitive players are going to abuse something that just not is enjoyable to deal with to a casual player. And Fate wants a seat at that table to say, no, these combos, this and that. But he didn't realize what he was asking for, at least the way he was conveying it, was that a get out of jail free card. Why am I stuck in these long combos? Why can't I get out of them? Well, because you're being hit a lot more than a competitive player is. That's why it seems more obnoxious to you. And that point was lost on him. If you play against a competitive player, you, Fate, are going to be in the air the entire fucking game unless they give you infinite self-generating combo breakers, because you are just not at the level to compete any better. And yes, I understand you know how to scrap. I got you. But that scrapping doesn't mean anything when you're playing at the highest level. No, you don't know how to scrap at that level. I don't know frame data. I don't know this. Well, and when you admit that, could it be possible you tried to strike when it wasn't your turn and you got hit, and now you're going to sit there for 30 seconds? And then to say, why do I have to sit here for 30 seconds? Why can't I get out of it? You're stuck there for 30 seconds because you hit a button when you're not supposed to. Brother, you're going to be asleep for 30 seconds in real life if you do a move when you shouldn't have to.
You know what? Do you know what point he made that really made me laugh? You said that MK is broken up into several communities. The arcade one, the 3D one, and the NRS one. And he said, no, they're not. Stop saying that. They're all one big MK community. And then moments later, basically shat on the 3D era and said, that's not real MK. And he said the NRS era minus MK9 is not real MK. And he's basically saying that he believes the arcade era is the real era of MK, which gives more credence to the fact that you were talking the truth. He comes from the arcade era. That's his scene. I'm more 3D. Some of the guys in the chat now are NRS. And that's exactly what you were saying. And he kept on repeating it and then contradicted himself.
Who's ever been there's only one human to be all three. Ever. There's only one, which was me. I've been on all of them. I was successful in the arcade era. I was successful in the 3D era, and successful in some of the arcade era, the newer players who are top now, who have taken the game to a level far higher than we did in that era. A lot of them, when I was like, hey, brother, I was successful in that era. But they act like I was trying to say that we were as good as them or I was as good as them. Absolutely not. I have no problem admitting they've taken the game to a level far greater than we ever did.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that I didn't do what I did in the era of the game's relevance. It's still relevant to those people now, but I was very competitive and a very good player in that era. I was considered the number one MK4 player at that point. Would I go to Brazil right now or anywhere in Latin America and compete against these people doing the craziest shit on the N64 pad? Fuck no. They took the game far greater than we did. I mean, of course they can. We were paying for our games. They got to play it on consoles and tried to, not for MK4, they couldn't emulate it, but other MK games, they got so much more practice time and years of experience and could break it down when they're not paying for every game. I would be insulting their intelligence to say they didn't take it to another level. But I was in all the eras, successful in all of them in those particular eras. I'm not successful in the 3D era now or successful in the arcade era now. They have their own scenes, especially the arcade era, and the 3D one's long dead and gone. No one plays those anymore, unfortunately, because there's just no way to. At least none that is like a Fightcade where the 2D ones are. But I was certainly and I can tell you, the sub community it really is broken up in multiple communities. And the weird issue is when Fate says the 3D era is not MK. First, he is disrespecting the community for like, acting like this is that or whatever it is, as far as like what's MK and what's not. And when I said, like, if you say I don't like this game, Fate's like, those are tourists. They're not a real MK people.
Yeah.
So he doesn't like someone saying, Fate, if you don't like this game, you're not whatever. Because if Fate were to say, I don't like this game, or I think this game is good, he wouldn't want someone to say, well, you don't know what you're talking about. Yet he's doing the exact same thing to the 3D era.
I'll tell you what the stupidest thing is about Fate's entire argument is that you rarely see Fate arguing with people about lore. Like, there's loads of lore channels, but he focuses on people that care predominantly about gameplay. And he focuses on people that focus on frame data. And he tries to invalidate their points as if the fighting portion of the game is not the most important part of it. And he also, he fails to understand that people that compete and people that play games to get better at them and not just enjoy the lore are going to focus on that area of the game. But then he goes on to say, oh, these ain't real MK fans, or he'll get annoyed when he hears Maximilian talking about the gameplay. And I'm like, why don't you just react to a video of somebody saying something that you disagree with about the lore? He's picking fights with people on an area of the game that he doesn't even fully understand himself. And then he'll sit on the video and go, oh, why are you talking about gameplay again? And I'm like, is this guy slow or something? Like, he comes across so stupid that I even start to laugh sometimes. It makes no sense. There's loads of MK lore channels on YouTube he could go and do reaction videos to, but he chooses to argue with tournament players and high-level players. It makes no sense whatsoever.
Again, this is the point. Fate picking an argument with a tournament player, and then when they bring up a tournament player's point of view to say, I don't care about that, but I play for fun. That's not, tournaments aren't the end game. But the casual scene and the tournament scene go hand in hand to extending a game's life. You can't have a tournament scene without the casual scene then to fill out a large part of the bracket, and to make the game sell, to be successful, to even support a tournament scene. But the game won't have won't get the eyeballs on it to continue to grow a community without the Twitch, the YouTube, the tournament scene, etc., to bring more people to the community. So the casual community and the tournament community, they work hand in hand. The tournament community cannot dismiss the views of the casuals, and the casuals cannot dismiss the views of the tournament player. They both must, validate that. So when Fate says, well, these combos, and someone makes a video and says, as has been in the past when Fate was playing Reiko, and they're like, well, look, he did a move. I remember one time somebody tried to make fun of him because he brought up a video clip and Fate did something at a decent minus, I think 4 or 5, and then he got hit and comboed, and he goes, look at that. And now I'm stuck to watch, and he timed the combo. And a few tournament players pointed out that Fate got put in that combo to begin with because he did something when it wasn't his turn, and his bluff got called, and he got hit. Yeah. And Fate would say, well, I don't care about the flame data. I know how to scrap. But that's why that happened. So yes, I understand it's not fun to be caught in a 30-second movie. That can be true, and maybe there is a point to address there. But Fate picked a bad example to make that argument. Because, of course, a casual player is not going to care. They may not care about the frame data. They may not care about the circumstance that led to it. All they see is you're in their air for 30 seconds. Should something be looked at there? Possibly. He might. I'm not saying he doesn't have grounds to say, hey, nobody likes this. I'm not disagreeing with Fate there. However, when he's saying caught in combos by these only pros who want to do these long combos, you got caught in a combo because you did something you shouldn't do. That it, quote unquote, only pro would know, don't do that there. And if an only pro did get hit there, they only pros, quote unquote, do complain about stupid damage. So even tournament players complain about, I got hit for 30 seconds and lost 70%. Even they complain about that, Fate. So yes, you two are right there. What they don't complain is that I got caught in that combo because I did something I shouldn't do. No quote unquote only pro is going to do that and say, well, why should I lose all this life because I made a big mistake when it wasn't my turn? Right? That's not where they say it. So Fate and casual players and tournament players kind of don't see eye to eye there, because sometimes neither honor the other one's point. So I'm not absolving tournament players from not looking at the casual point of view, but Fate is just as guilty because he doesn't look at their point of view. He doesn't care about the competitive scene. Here's the real truth. No, again, playing the game competitively is not fun for a casual player. Now, Fate is right. There needs to be, whether you can't, a competitive player can just say, I don't care about the single player content. I don't care about this. I come online to fight. Fine. Being competitive is what's fun for you, and that is enough for you. As long as ranked is good and the versus mode competitive aspect is good and fun for you, and ranked is good and fun for you, and you have tournaments, you're okay. But there are some people who don't care about that. And the matchmaking as far as in player match and the online desync issues, because they're not going to go to tournaments, and single player content when the servers are down for maintenance, and if it's extended, well, I don't have anything to do. Your single player mode is garbage, and a lot of your content like skins and cool stuff that I like to grind for and stages, that's not very fun to me. And the music I don't even like. There's content that has to be in the game to appease a casual player, because you cannot just say, well, you should just suck it up and enjoy the fighting game part, because as a paying customer, they have the right to say, this is the new standard in fighting games, and you are not living up to that standard. And as a paying customer, I have this expectation that a game made by WB Games and a major title like Mortal Kombat is going to have that for the money that I'm paying. And for the money they're asking, the casual player, you're asking $108 for a pre-order. You're selling an expansion that wasn't very good for $50. Those players do have that right to demand that. And no tournament player can say, shut up, go to tournaments, whatever. But what casual players like Fate will do is they will then get caught in something that is, not fun for a casual, that is part of the competitive side, and say, I don't like that. It'd be the same thing as somebody who's playing a character that can heavily zone you, but you and your friend or your mate, as Fate would say, are fighting, and you're going back and forth, and you're like, man, that was really fun. Then you go online and you play ranked, and you're playing a super top player, and they're just running away from you and zoning the shit out of you with that same character. And you're like, well, this isn't fun. This is stupid. See, it was fine. That character was fine when you and your friend are playing, and who's going to do what, we're doing moves. It's fun. We don't give a fuck who's winning or losing. But when you're playing somebody who does, and now they're playing the character this way and abusing these things, all of a sudden it's not fun. The same game can be very fun with your friends and not very fun in the pro level area.
Tom, could I get you to respond to? I want you to I don't understand why he was so nasty towards you at the end of the video. Okay, I want you to because I feel like you're giving him too much. He really went for you at the end of the video. Why did he go for you like that? When he hasn't even done that with me.
He just doesn't like me.
Yeah, but why? What is it that he doesn't like? Why has he gone after you like that?
Because of the people you pal around with, Fate. I am very proud to, even though if it's not acknowledged, I am part of a fraternity of top players, because I share that. The reason why I always take the player's point of view over the studios is because as a former pro player and a former one of the top players in the world for a very long time, I did share the stage, and I shared a lot with those players. So those players will bow down because he says, oh, the trolls. People in my comments will say, I saw this top player rip Tom. The trolls, in many ways, will dictate the narrative. If the greater community, casual community, respects someone, the top players are afraid to come after them and invalidate them, because there is such a massive audience that outnumbers them, that the narrative is this was someone who's great, whose opinion matters. But when the trolls come after you and say, you're an idiot, you don't know what you're talking about, you're a scrub, you're a loser, and there's enough of them, even the top players will go that route. The irony is, people used to always say to me, who cares what people think? And I do agree. But the bottom line is, even if I don't care what people think, the people that I'm surrounded by do. And people that I respect do. And they go into that narrative of an idiot and yada, yada, yada. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to take myself out of this situation. I think Fate is upset because he believes I keep company with people who I no longer do. I don't really keep company with anyone on the FGC. I keep company with people who took the opposite stance. But again, I get how they can come off rude and harsh, and you know what you're talking about, filthy casual. But when it comes to gameplay and the nuts and bolts, Fate does not know what he's talking about. When it comes to fun or enjoyment, nobody should tell Fate what's fun to him or has the right to. But sometimes the two paths cross, and I don't think Fate likes how he was treated. And I think he kind of takes that out on me because you associate with these people and blah, 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 blah. You know, but Fate, oftentimes, he came on your podcast and said, I don't say these terrible things about Tom. What are you talking about? And yet, there he goes.
Yeah.
In fact, he asked you, why don't you bury him?
Yeah, I remember that. Well, Fate thinks that I'm his dad or something. I don't know. He's constantly asking me to do it, but I've noticed a pattern with people like Fate. There was an idiot yesterday saying to me, "Condemn this, condemn that." I was like, "Shut up, man." Like, I don't know what's wrong with them. They think I'm their dad.
Yeah, I don't do it. I don't come after Fate because I don't think that I think he has the right to have his opinion. I don't think anyone should tell anyone what's fun or enjoyable to them. And I think even the casual player should have a pretty big... There are some issues that are legit amongst it. Even though you're a tournament player and this guy's a casual, there are many issues that casuals can bring up that are real concerns that should be addressed. But there are also concerns that casuals think is a problem that actually isn't. That isn't only a problem for them because they don't have a deeper understanding of the game.
Yeah.
And Fate is not willing to admit that part.
Yeah, I think everyone knows that Fate doesn't know anything about the actual fighting aspect of fighting games. He likes that I watched the clip of him getting real excited over the fact that Foxy Grandpa knew stuff about Mortal Kombat lore, and I found it so funny because I think he assumes because people focus on the gameplay part of a fighting game, imagine that they're not they don't know about Mortal Kombat's lore and its history and its comics and graphic novels that might have come out or TV shows or Defenders of the Realm or any of that stuff. And it was really funny to watch the video and see him get excited at the fact that Foxy knew Mortal Kombat lore, as if it was ever in doubt that Foxy was ever a Mortal Kombat fan. Like I don't know what's wrong with him. He seems really slow.
And then he calls people tourists. He mentioned tourist. Who is Fate to say who's a tourist and who's a hardcore MK fan? Who made him judge, jury, and executioner of this is a real MK fan, this is a tourist? I mean, I heard that in the video and I was like, who is he to say? And you're really hard on the quote-unquote only pros, not realizing that a lot of them are real MK fans.
Yeah, most of them. Like, if I was to pull out all of my MK shit, I'd be here all day. I was doing stuff the other day, like pulling out random things. I've got MK stuff, like rare MK stuff that some people might not have even seen before. Just because people don't talk about it on their channels does not mean they're not fans of it. It's just they're more interested in the fighting aspect of the game, which seems pretty normal considering it's a fighting game. It's a very weird, bizarre stance that he takes on that.
Yeah, I mean, also, there are things that they can do, and I want to just, I don't want to get too far before I say this. I want to be clear on what I mean by legacy. Because the problem is the current MK community will always say, oh, you just want the last game to be a cut and paste. And no one says that. So first of all, you need a base game. If NRS decides the base game should be a MK1 or MK11, Mortal Kombat is fucked for eternity. And there is no hope.
Not to cut you up, Tom, but apparently just now, NRS just officially announced they're ending support for Mortal Kombat 1. I mean, that should have been obvious with the definitive edition, but apparently it's on Twitter now. They've actually officially announced that's it. MK1's done.
No surprise. No surprise.
I don't think anyone should be shocked. Like we all knew this was coming.
Yeah, and this is the soonest they've ever done that. This is the soonest they've ever done it. So we know it was a money thing. So they should establish a base though of the game. It needs to be a combination of MK9 and MKX. That's where I would start, and make the game from there, and then make tweaks, and you can change things about the system along the way. In future games. Tekken 8, there's still a lot of things that resemble Tekken, and then there's Heat that makes it like, what the fuck is it? And they've added to Tekken, right? When this is built off the Tekken 5 model.
Yeah.
The normals are the same from 5. The characters still have their moves. But they've added things like a different combo system. First, you had like the wall system in Tekken 5 that was different. Tekken 6, you had the bound system. You had the floor break. You had a different wall system as well. Tekken 7 introduced, what was it, corkscrew or tornado? I forget what they called it. It's still the same in this. They just gave it a different name.
Yeah. It's called... I think it's... What is it called in Tekken 8? I've completely forgotten. It was bound,
corkscrew?
tailspin... Is it corkscrew? I
Tekken 7?
don't know. Tekken 7 was tailspin, I think.
Tailspin. And as well as they gave you things like power crushes that you didn't used to have, supers that you didn't used to have, rage, was it rage art, rage drive, that kind of thing. Cash out for a different move. They didn't have that, and so they're still adding to Tekken, adding more characters, adding more moves to characters, adding things around the system that still makes it its own Tekken game. It's not Tekken Tag 1, even though Kazuya is not the Tekken Tag 1 Kazuya. The game doesn't play like Tekken 1. So even though a lot of Kazuya's moves are like Tekken 1, Hell Sweep business, they changed the properties on certain moves. They changed a lot of things, but still retained a lot of the core of the character. So he's recognizable. And Tekken 8, obviously, they, Heat and everything along that. MK can do something similar. You can change a lot around the characters without rebuilding the characters. And how the characters play will factor in how the overall system in the game kind of plays around how they are. So I'll just take Sub-Zero. You could take like you could take like MK9, his standing 2, his 2-2, his 2-2-4. He has forward 4 in MK9. You could still give him forward 4, but instead of the overhead forward 4, you could give him the MKX forward 4, the little quick snap kick, and then give him the 4-2 string, 4-2-1, 4-2-1 plus 2, and his overhead would instead have been back 2 because you removed his forward 4 overhead. So it's like, oh, okay, still has forward 4, but now it's this, and then they gave him this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just gonna quickly read out the tweet so everyone knows exactly what they've said. It says, "We are hearing players' requests for continued game support for Mortal Kombat 1. And while we continue to support Mortal Kombat 1 through balance adjustments and fixes, there will not be additional DLC characters or story chapters released from this point on. We understand this will be disappointing for fans, but our team at NetherRealm needs to shift focus to the next project in order to make it as great as we possibly can." That is the tweet. Damn, that's it. It's over. Yeah. What do you reckon? It's Injustice or Mortal Kombat?
Injustice, yeah. Injustice doesn't sell anywhere near as well as Mortal Kombat either.
No,
they would need to. I think they should overhaul Injustice too. I think.
Yeah, they need to zoom in a bit on the character models because it's way too far.
Small. Yeah, I agree. So anyway, the reason why I use Sub-Zero as the example because that's obviously the character I have the most experience with. So you can take his 2-2, his 2-2-4, his 2-1, his 2-1-4, his 2-1-2 from 9. Give him his MKX back 3-3, change his MK9 forward 4 to MKX and give him the forward 4 string. You could do all kinds of things like that. You could take his clone and change it to the MKX clone where it shatters. So you could still change things. It can't be done in the air anymore. You could still change those things, but not have to rebuild his whole moveset. So you can add moves to characters, kind of change the properties of some of the moves, but still keep a good amount of the legacy moveset and build a new game around the character. And it saves you a lot of dev time and characters still recognized. I would take a combination of 9 and X, the two most successful with the community, and kind of meld them together and make a game off of that. and that be the base they build off of going forward. That's what I would do. If they do it off MK11 and MK1, well,
they're cooked. It's
MK
over.
it's over. MK had a good run.
Do you think they'll do that? Do you think they'll use the MK1 base after what's happened?
That'd be the worst decision it'll be a dumber decision than Sega telling Sony we don't want to partner up to beat Nintendo.
Yeah. I think if they do that, that might be the end of Mortal Kombat being the juggernaut.
And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, Tom Kalinske, then head of Sega of America, called it the stupidest move in the history of business.
By the way, you know,
this was the guy.
You know your videos. I wanted to ask you: are they? Is there any chance that they'll ever come back, or are they actually deleted?
I mean, why would they come back? People consider them crying, complaining, and I think I'm speaking for people, but the very people I'm speaking for are like, no, we don't like it.
Because there's quite a few people that were asking me about it, so I was just wondering, like, you know,
this is what they do. They complain about it when it's there, and then when it's gone, I love them. And they all say the same thing. That wasn't me. I didn't say that. How can everyone claim they loved it? I didn't say it. And yet the discourse around my content be that bad. How is it that more people than not, Tom, really loved you, only a handful of trolls, yet the public narrative is that I'm an idiot who cries and complains instead of laughs? How is that possible? Narratives like that of someone that have the resume that I do, the only way that the narrative gets done is the majority echoing this over decades. Or would you agree? Would you disagree?
No, I mean the only thing I disagree with is that there are a lot of people. Maybe they don't like come to your defense, but I still think there's a lot of people that appreciate what you do. I don't think you should focus on the trolls too much. I mean, just to give you an example, yesterday I was getting like all manner of abuse on Twitter from some donut and his crowd. And if I just focused on what they were saying, I'd really think people hated me. But I think that you're always gonna have haters when you're either successful or something, or like you've got people's ear.
That's true, but to me, the vast majority are the ones that don't like me.
I don't think that's true. I think people have a lot of respect for you, and I think that the trolls are actually pretty nasty. The ones that I've seen come at you, and it might make it seem like everyone's against you, but I think that people actually respect you a lot. At least in my community, anyway. Like that's the sentiment in my community. I don't know about other things.
I would say the majority of the MK community doesn't respect me at all, and that's fine. And I'm considered an idiot who doesn't know anything about fighting games. That's the majority opinion.
Other communities really respect you, though. I know that people in the Tekken community do.
I mean, eventually, I don't know. I think most of the new people have no idea who I am. So maybe some of the older people do, like Rip or whatever. But even they're afraid to. People, put it this way, Mike. People are afraid to say anything good about me publicly. True or false?
What do you mean, everyone, or just in general?
Most people that are my supporters, they'll be supporters in private, but but I get it, because the disrespect and the hate is so overwhelming that a lot of times it feels like one supporter against 1 million people, and they just don't want that fight.
I mean, I support you, Tom. I don't care how many people chat shit to me. It doesn't bother me.
Not sticks and stones, Mike, but not everyone's built that way. That's kind of the issue.
I think you are built that way. You're from an era where they had to be built that way.
I'm not, but my support, and I'm like, look, I mean, like, I got it. I'm considered what it is. There's no way to put the genie back in the bottle. I'm considered an idiot who doesn't know anything by the vast majority. And that just is the way it is. And it used to bother me, but now I've accepted it, and I say, hey, I'm at peace with it. I can move on, not make any more videos, and it doesn't bother me anymore. And I can just move on with my life. But it doesn't mean I'm going to make any videos. I mean, I'm not going to be the butt of everyone's jokes. I mean, I don't have to do that.
Why don't we just custom all back? It's fun. It's more fun that way.
There's too many of them, and The narrative is too big. I can't fight it. It's too big. It's decades and decades of this guy's a scrub. He sucks. He's never done anything. He's an idiot. Doesn't know fighting games. Never beat anybody. Never did anything. If he did, it didn't matter. It didn't count.
Yeah, but most of those people have like have Twitter accounts made in May 2025 of like 0 followers. They're just there to troll people.
And I'll say this, and somebody mentioned it in my comments on my video, most of our top players have also echoed that sentiment. Most of our top players in one time or another have blasted me as being the biggest idiot scrub known to man. They'll walk it back now and say, oh, come on, Tom, you know, the trolls, yada, yada, yada. But no, that's how people really feel. You know how people really feel when they get angry. And even the top, most respected players in our community, if they were to get mad at me, what would they do? He's a scrub. He doesn't know anything. And they would tell their real opinion. And I know how they all really feel, because even if they walk it back now from some people who weren't around when they were saying this, I know how they really feel. So,
like if there was a contingent of content creators that did support you, say like myself, Sikanda, Binti, King J, and all that, like at what point would it be like that? Like I have enough of a support system here to not care about those trolls?
I mean, I just don't want to make videos for people who, while I think I'm voicing their concerns, they then turn around and say, shut up, you're crying. Like, I'd rather just not. I'd rather just not do it. Because the problem is, I also don't see the point in making content like that anymore. Yeah. Because the problem is, I'm not crying. I'm raising legitimate concerns. And it comes off as crying. The MK community makes fun of me whenever I talk about Sub-Zero. You would think if they were really supporters of mine, wouldn't they want me to talk about Sub-Zero? Instead, they're like, oh my God, shut up about Sub-Zero, Tom. And I think we have proven that no matter what, the MK community will always cry about that character. Always. It's not a matter of broken or not. They'll always say he's broken. They'll always say he's unbeatable, regardless of how good or bad he is. And if I weigh on my phone, like to me, like take Sub-Zero alone. The whole game, nothing made sense. The characters received almost 20 buffs. And I'm like, what are some of these buffs doing? They gave him like 20 buffs. And after the first 2 they gave him, which by the way, the 3 clones used to be 2 bars. They put a bug that allowed it to be 1. And then he couldn't even do a single clone EX. They gave him a single clone and the EX made it last longer, even though it was still super unsafe. After those 2 buffs, they said he was broken. So do we really believe if we walk back the last 16 buffs of Sub-Zero, he was actually top? If you walk back the last 16 buffs, he'd be absolute shit. And the fact that NRS gave a character 16, 18 buffs to a character like that, who everyone hates, tells you they probably needed some help. But they do things that didn't make sense. They gave him a new move that made an old special move completely irrelevant in EX Deadly Vapors. And then they made his clone buff to be a little closer. But now he doesn't need meterless damage from the clone in the corner because of the new move. So the new move completely invalidated the clone proximity buff, which is now a nerf because he gets killed for doing it in the corner, and invalidates a move in the game EX Deadly Vapors. They're like, maybe the combo damage is enough. First, we'll try this for more damage, that for more damage, and then we'll give him a move that makes multiple changes invalid and irrelevant. And then it's so stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Sometimes they just throw shit at the wall. And when you bring this up and say, logically, what sense did this make? You had no idea. And the real truth is, the reason why Sub-Zero has this kit is because his designer made his Injustice version. So that's why he has 3 clones. They have no idea. They have no idea what the fuck the purpose of it is. So they finally said, make it about combos by allowing it to break the double freeze barrier. But that's recent. When the game came out, they had no clue what 3 clones was for. Why does he have it? He had it in Injustice. Why does he have a dive kick, people say? Because he had it in Injustice 2. And the designer of his Injustice 2 made him in MK. So they said, we'll give him his Injustice dive kick that I made. And I have respect for this guy, Nick Nicastro. He's a fucking genius in designing. I have a lot of respect for Nick Nicastro. I just think it was because he didn't have time to focus on his craft, because it was like, well, there's all this shit we're doing with this new gimmicky system, and they design more than one character. He's designing certain cameos, and how is that going to work? By the time they get to the characters, oh, Sub-Zero, well, I made this guy in Injustice 2. Okay, clone, it'll be the same animation. We'll give him the same curl up in the air, because that's the same curl up animation in the air of Injustice 2. And we'll give him 3 clones like Injustice 2. We'll give him Clone Punch. We'll give him Dive Kick. That's why. That's why he has it. Not for any other strategic reason other than it was in Injustice 2. And when I talk about things that people just don't have knowledge, because they've never been behind the scenes, they don't know these people, they've never had conversations with these people, and they don't know why something happened in NetherRealm, and I call it out, they say, oh my God, the crying, you just won't ever be happy, and no one says, hey, listen to this guy.
Yeah, but Tom, you know that they call me a crybaby as well. It doesn't matter.
Hold on, but notice when Blood Count spoke, they said, hey man, this guy was behind the scenes. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I was behind the scenes, but when I say it, my supporters say, shut the fuck up already. So I did. People don't realize this. My trolls, the reason why I started deleting the game in MKX, which people always bring up as a negative, I started deleting the game in MKX because the community, my viewers thought it would be funny to, because what the draw of my stream, the draw of my stream in MK, and MKX, hold on one second. The draw of MKX, my stream, was that you would not see me do ranked. It was only one game anyway, but you would see me play every day long sets with the best players in the world. And people would oftentimes say, Tom just gets bodied. He gets bodied. Because I would say, the way I practice is, I know I'm going to crush most people. And people hate fighting Sub-Zero. So I know the most common option is going to be pick a character that makes it a handicap match for me. So if I know Devora does that, and I only train with Honeybee hours and hours a day, and he's going to understand all of my traps, all of my tricks. So it's going to be even harder to put a player of that magnitude who knows what I do. It's going to be harder for me to get him, because then not only does he know how his character wins, he knows how his character loses. So it's tough for me to trick him in those situations. When I play some random in pools or bracket or top 64, I'll pick Devora. Here's how Sub-Zero loses to Devora. But do you know how Devora could lose to Sub-Zero? I never thought of that. How does he know? That's my advantage. So I would lose and lose and lose, only against the very best of the best in very tough matchups. And people would see me get good tournament results, top 16 or whatever it is, top 8 or whatever. And they would say, how is this guy that I'm watching getting blasted every day, how does he do well in tournaments? He sucks. And I would say, I'm doing it because this is how I train. And I figure if there's a match is a handicap match and I'm going to play Sub-Zero, my best option is to make sure only one man on earth will ever beat me in that match. And unless I see that one man, I'll advance. It gives me a far better chance to advance into the top 16 and have a chance at top 8 and not drowning in pools. But that method was lost on people because in 9, they never got to see me train that way. They only saw the success in tournaments and me overcome those matches. They never dreamed that I was getting the crap beat at. No one saw Forever King beat me 100 consecutive games in MK9. They only saw me beat him the next day. True story, I lost 100 straight games in MK9 to him, and the next game I beat him 2-1 in tournament. If people saw that, they would say, what the fuck? What does this tournament matter? The guy lost 100-0. They didn't understand my method. So my stream chat thought it'd be funny to troll me. I was garbage. I was bad. And to me, I just wanted to level up and learn. And I came up with a lot of tech from going up against these people that's really helped me in tournament. And no one talked about how I was beating the shit out of 99% of the people that I faced. Only this. Oh, I saw him get bodied. So never said, hey, didn't he just make top in this tournament yesterday? No, he got bodied today. Okay. So they thought it would be a good idea to troll me by convincing these players that I would always play. And they always got to see the game play at the highest level. Never anything else. So I was always playing top player. They thought it'd be funny to say, when Tom is playing somebody top, if he loses one or two, like one game, let's make said top player convince him to say, let's troll Tom by getting under his skin and say, I'm not playing you ever again. And I used to get upset at this because they would leave after one game and the chat, Tom, how many games do you need? And they would troll me. So I would say, you know what's a good way to finally end this? One day, the next time they ask me how many games do I need, I'm going to delete the fucking game and say, here's how many games I need. None.
But
and when I did that...
Do you have any? Do you have like a passion for Mortal Kombat anymore, or is it all gone because of the community?
It's probably gone. Going back to my videos, the reason why I did that is because they would always say, Tom, why don't you shut the fuck up and stop crying? So I did. Why'd you take your videos down? Where's the content? You can't have it both ways. Do you think it's funny to tell me to shut the fuck up? Is the narrative, see, Mike, the narrative on you, they come after you because they don't know that you're an MK guy. And they make it out like you're some grifter, right? That's what they try to do to you, right? Here's Mike Hollow grifting off the MK community. He's not an MK guy, and he's trying to compare it to Tekken and blah, blah, blah. But with me, the narrative is he's an idiot. He doesn't understand fighting games, and he's crying. That is the overall narrative. The narrative.
Could I just counter that quickly, though, Tom? Just to play devil's advocate. You got 25,000 subscribers, but your videos get you get hundreds of comments, yeah? But you will get a video that's got like 20,000 views on it. So if, let's say you got 100 comments, but you got 20,000 views, doesn't it stand to reason that the likelihood, because you've got 25,000 subscribers, the likelihood is that most people enjoyed it, and you've just got the vocal ones being, because people that are gonna have something to say will say something negative usually.
I'm pretty sure people are just looking to take something I do or say and clip it so they can take it out of context and play it years later when no one understands the context of it. And people have done that to me.
No, but what I'm saying is that if your video gets 20,000 views, and most people are just like me, I watch most. If you upload, I'll watch it. I don't always comment, but I'll watch. I think there's probably more people just watching and enjoying it and then going, because most people don't comment on stuff; they just watch stuff and move on. I think there's probably more.
Then why don't you hear that my videos are enjoyable?
Why don't we hear it? I think it's reflected in the viewer count. Even though you've deleted all your videos, you still got 25,000 subs. People haven't been unsubbing in mass. And when you upload, you still get thousands of views. So I still think people really like listening to you. I think just the really negative ones are the ones that leave comments.
I disagree. There's a reason. Hold on. I disagree. I disagree there.
Why do you disagree?
I disagree because I truthfully feel like Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, do I sound okay now? Still?
Yeah, you sound more clear actually.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Power of $100,000 vehicle. I guess it's a good thing I gave the money for this one. Thanks, Fate.
Okay, let's not make fun of Fate's financial situation now.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that $500 that I quote unquote supposedly scammed is what put me over the edge to be able to get these nice things. It's gone a long way. You hear how Jesus broke up the fish and fed the 5,000? I broke up $500 to form hundreds of thousands. That's what I did. I just needed that first 500.
Yeah. So, why do you disagree with that?
I disagree with it because if I truly believed that, Mike, why do I cover up my shirt when we stream?
So people don't find where you work?
Because I feel like they would literally do whatever it took to get me fired just to be like, fuck you.
They probably do it to me as well, though. If people found out where I work, I think they'd probably try to do some stuff.
I mean, okay, fair enough. But I don't ever hear anything. Look, I understand you got to take the good with the bad. You got to take the good with the bad. But with me, it's like got to take the bad for 99% of it. And there's a tiny bit of good in there. And it's not that I focus on the bad and ignore the good. The good sometimes gets missed because it's all bad. Like, it's really bad. Like, my memories are not good. They're not good, Mike. They're not good. I remember when I first started my stream and I thought I was so blessed when I first started streaming. I had myself and Rio at first. We had we had like 4,000 or 5,000 viewers. And I'm like, man, I'm so blessed. And I was streaming MKX every day and I was getting 2,000 and 3,000 viewers. And I thought, man, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then I came back from Combo Breaker. I was really upset. I got 9th. Combo Breaker, by the way, the MKX Combo Breaker, that it's as big as any Combo Breaker we have ever had for Mortal Kombat. It is the same number as the MK1 Combo Breaker. The only Combo Breaker bigger was the first year for MK11, which had like 800. Jesus, it was enormous. But my point is that I got 9th. I was like, man, this sucks. I come back, and it's like, it's literally, and I'm not making it up, 2,000 people. Like how shit I am. They used to have a guy called Gnarly Machiavelli who was one of my mods. And he said, I found out about you because people always joke about, here's a guy who thinks he's good in streams, but he really sucks. And everyone loves to watch this guy who thinks he's good, but he sucks and he's getting bodied all day. That's literally the narrative around me. And whether people want to admit it or not, that's how a lot of people found out in the MKX days. I mean, I don't have fond memories. I have fond memories of it's not fun. My time in the FGC is not good. I got it. Yes, I'm the worst. I'm the dumbest. I'm the most stupid. I suck. I'm trash. I'm a moron. Why am I allowed to talk about the game? 30 years of that. Enough. And very little of, oh, he's respected. Oh, his opinion, he knows what he's talking about. So I'm just like, I've had my fill. I've had my fill of shit stuffed in my throat. So I'm checking out.
But you know, I've just gone over to your channel, yeah, and because I have like been on YouTube doing this for like 2 years properly now, I'm just looking like you've gained subscribers, and your last video's got 11,000 views. It doesn't have a description in it. For those of you that don't know, when you don't put a description in your video, the algorithm tends to not push it. You still got very high viewership. You've got almost 1,000 likes on the video, and I'm reading through the comments. They're mostly positive. There's a lot of people saying sorry for people being negative towards you. People saying this is a great video. Like, your channel has got 25.1 thousand now, so you've grown, even though you've deleted all your videos. I think you're underestimating how popular you are in the fighting game community.
Let me give you an example. You wouldn't know this because you're in the EU, but the American audience would. There's a quarterback known as Peyton Manning in the NFL Football Hall of Fame. Now, there is a small minority of people who claim this guy wasn't clutch and blah, 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 and this, that, or the other. 1, 2 Super Bowls, 4 appearances, whatever. But of course, you're always going to get that. He sucked, he wasn't that good, he wasn't clutch, big choker. The majority would say one of the greatest of all time. And I'm not trying to put myself in that company. I don't believe anyone should call themselves the greatest or one of the greatest. That's for people to decide based on your accomplishments. And people will say, well, Tom, you did call yourself the greatest tournament Sub-Zero player of all time. That actually I was called that long before, and I earned that. So if I say, hey, when people don't know who I am, as far as why should I talk about Sub-Zero, put some respect on my name. However, for me, it's opposite. The majority are like, he's an idiot, he's a scrub, he's trash, never good, doesn't know anything. And the very small minority are like, well, yeah, he was good, he was this, he knows what he's talking about. So it's flipped for me.
How many people would you say that is? Like, because when I look at your video here, the one that you made, you've got 1,000 likes on it, yeah? That means 1,000 people at the very least. Let's take away the 11,000 that watched it. 1,000 people agree with what you were saying in this video. Because most people don't like the videos, right?
Okay, hold on. I would say 900 of those 1,000 people on streams and on other platforms and message boards talk about how they can't stand me and how I'm the worst. And you've seen this. You've seen very people that come on Twitter, on my YouTube, comment, and then go on Twitter and blast me. True or false?
No, that's true. But I've also seen that happen to me too, Tom.
But it's been happening. I mean, dude, it's just the majority. It's just the majority of people. And I don't want to make videos for people like that anymore.
No, I'm not saying that. I don't think you should make videos if you don't want to. But I think that if there's still a love for the game, you should do it for yourself. I don't think you should do it for other people.
Okay, people, prove me wrong. Undo the narrative of the last 30 years that so many of these people have worked very hard to put on me. Not going to happen. I'll gladly come back.
But
you can't put feathers back in the pillow, Mike.
No, I agree with you, but I'm just saying
it's their opinion, and I don't enjoy making videos. Look, I get it. I don't enjoy making videos anymore because I know my opinion well, and the reason why. Here's the best way I can put it. I probably should have led with this. I don't want to make videos anymore. It's because the narrative is not that I am knowledgeable, not that I know what I'm talking about, and not that if I say it, I have labbed it and I truly understand it. Not that Tom is the oldest of all of us. He is, Mike, true or false, you brought a guy, Final Showdown, on there, and he's talking about pictures with people, and from 25 years ago, he pulls him a picture of me in it, yes or no? Right next to him.
What was that?
It's almost like I'm the Dracula of the FGC. I was around through all of it. Older than Daigo, older than me, around longer than them, around longer than Alex Valle. All of them. I was the first, literally. And no one's like, this guy is knowledgeable. He knows what he's talking about. He knows this, he knows that. The narrative is he's an idiot and a crybaby who doesn't lab. And the problem is NRS buys into this narrative. So I know when I say something, not only will it never be taken seriously by another top content creator, because they're like, this guy's known as a crybaby. I don't want to talk about his talking points on my channel and give it any validity. But even NRS is like, why should we listen to this crybaby bum? These people who claim they support me and having me known as a troll, as a crybaby bum who knows nothing, have diminished my ability to invoke any change with NRS. NRS cares what Maximilian thinks. Why? Because despite the audience he commands, there is a large respect that Maximilian commands. And I'm not putting myself in Maximilian's category as a content creator. I'm not. Maximilian is the GOAT, and he has advanced fighting games and the viewership of fighting games and the player base of fighting games more than anyone like myself could ever do it. But when it comes to nuts and bolts and feet on the ground in history, no one is in my category of that. And yet, I'm seen as the clown, the class clown of the FGC, the idiot with the dunce cap at the back of the room. So my ability to invoke change is gone. Gone. Ketchup and mustard, great knowledgeable players. They have the power to invoke change. I do not. Their words are taken, and I'm not singling them out. I'm just saying that they are respected, and rightfully so. I have a huge respect for them.
Yeah.
I have a huge respect for those two guys. And what they say is meaningful. So when they draw attention to an issue, it's a huge win for the community. Because I'm not saying NRS listens to them, but it is taken more seriously. Me, anything I do or say is dismissed simply because it was me who said it. So I am doing more harm than good, because if I say something legitimate, it will immediately be dismissed because it is me who said it. So why even bother? Let someone else who is respected have these talking points.
But
At least they'll do some good.
Away from making change though, like what about just MK content in general? Like without the community side of it. Because let's say the new Mortal Kombat game comes out and it's absolutely fantastic and like Sub-Zero is awesome and we're having a great time. Forget the community and what they think. Wouldn't you just like make content because you enjoy the game? Because you still have a passion for it.
No. And people always say, why don't you upload match videos? Because I've heard it all before. I got it. I don't need to upload match videos. I got it. I'm a fraud, worst of the worst, etc., etc. I don't need to hear it anymore. In MKX, I used to upload match videos, and when I would upload sets where but I remember I was learning. There was a player. No, I don't even want to, because then they'll call me out for this. There was a specific player or several players that I would play, and I would learn a matchup, and I would be losing over 30 or 40 or 50 over and over and over again. And then I'm like, this character's new, or it's DLC. We don't know anything about this character yet. There's a lot I can learn. And then I would come up with a strategy, and I would go from losing 1 billion to 0 every day, and it was against like a new character that was very good, who was tough for Sub-Zero. And then maybe I might win it once, like 2019 or something like that. And I would upload all my journey, the videos of me losing and the tech I was coming up with. And then finally the tech worked and I won one set. And then I would upload, hey, I'm not winning. I won once, but I went from now I'm losing 30 to 18. I went from losing 40-0 to winning once 2019 to show it works. And then, of course, the player adapted, and now I'm losing 30 to 18. But losing 30 to 18 means I have a chance in tournament at the highest level. And 30 to 18 is so much different than losing 40-0. And people, oh my God, you're prop fishing. You win once, okay. So then I just stopped posting videos. Because when I win, I'm prop fishing, and I post it. I even post when I lose, and then I'm trash. And they just didn't enjoy it. It was just all about just crushing me. I don't need to hear this shit anymore. People don't enjoy my content. They enjoy trolling me based on my content. And they can have that. I just don't want to be the clown. So I just don't do the content anymore. Clown somebody else who doesn't care. I have way too much going, way too busy to do that. I don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah. What about all these comments on here though, all the nice ones? Like you've got 500 on here. I'm reading through them. Majority of them are nice.
Okay, but 400 of those people that are leaving those comments are on other places saying how I'm the worst human being known to man. So what does that matter to me? I've seen it way too much. It's all the same. Decades, years of this. Well, YouTube hasn't been around for decades, but years of it. Years of this. Doesn't matter.
I still think you're a powerful voice in the scene. I think that you have a lot to offer it. I just think that as things have gone away from the arcades and we're online now, and people say a lot of nasty shit, and I'm not saying that you didn't deal with that before.
It is irrelevant. It doesn't matter. It will never help, and it will never be taken seriously. It's in the real world, and what I do, I am taken seriously. And I go to the FGC and I'm the joke, and I'm like, you know what? I don't like being in this world anymore. I'd much rather go when I'm taken seriously. And when I'm an expert in my field, it's taken seriously and legitimately. I'm not about to go back to the FGC and should be considered an expert, but I'm considered an idiot. I don't want to do that. It's like a guy who goes to work and he's respected by his peers, but then he goes home and his wife treats him like a bitch. He spends more time at work.
So then, let me ask you then: is there a point in even debating Fate at that point? Then
I'll debate him on your channel. I'm not going to give one shred of content for people that come to my channel because I know how they really feel.
I mean, just to be clear, Fate is not going to accept because he's stupid. He wouldn't be able to debate you. But hypothetically speaking, because you're saying that you don't care anymore, you're not interested. Is there a point in debating Fate? Because he's the dumbest of everyone. So you're going to be shouting into the abyss with him.
I would debate him because I feel like there's enough people who follow that point of view who just don't understand. And I feel like tournament players and only pros and this and that, it's just very misguided and misunderstood. And so I would debate him. I would debate him, and I would keep it in gameplay issues. And I don't. When it comes to, I wouldn't disagree with him when it comes to areas of fun, but he would definitely disagree in areas that are in areas of competition. When his point is basically, these things may be fun for you as competitive players, but they're not fun for me as casuals. But you as casuals the problem is, and you know this, Mike, too often now, casual players want to dip their toe in the competitive water for a little bit of a challenge and then complain about what is being done to them by those players. True or false?
Yeah, true. Fate doesn't know anything about the competitive side.
But they claim to be casuals, but don't want to stay only playing casual players.
Yeah.
Then avoid any competitive player like the plague. But they don't want to do that. And if you go and clear open ranked and you go and queue up in player match, you are going to be subject to that. Nothing is stopping you from playing with your friends and playing the game how you find it to be fun. That's the disconnect. So that's all.
So then. So what are you gonna get in contact with him then? Like, how are you gonna set this up?
Somebody will tell him about this.
Oh yeah, he's got an errand boy called Dragoon. I'm sure he'll show it to him.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be interesting.
And he'll make a video.
I'm sure. I don't think he will. I think Fate understands that he can make his points on YouTube. You know, he did say this thing where it's like, how can a video be an echo chamber? And I was like, God, this guy's so stupid. Because Fate's known for like deleting comments and like banning people in his chat. So that's how you make it an echo chamber. You create a video, you don't pay attention to the comments, and you ban the ones you don't like, and you don't engage in conversation when you're called out. That's how it becomes an echo chamber, you dumbass. Sure. But I think that's probably what's going to happen. I think he'll probably make a response video to this. He'll sound snarky. You know, I've never seen someone so dumb sound so confident. He is so confident that it's almost astounding. But that's what I think will happen. I think he'll just talk into his echo chamber as usual. He'll probably make more nasty remarks, which is why I know that like you don't want to go down that road, but I really don't know how you haven't at this point. He was so disrespectful towards you. Oh yeah, Fate thinks I'm a woman as well, so
I don't need to. I don't need to stoop that. I can debate the game. I don't need to go personal.
What if you're having a debate on the game and he starts getting personal with you?
So be it. I don't care. I won't go that route.
Fair enough. I respect that.
All of our top players do it to me. Everyone has been on my stream when your favorite top players come into my streams and call me a scammer and all these things. They can step back and say, and pretend like they didn't say it. And then most of the community pretends like they didn't hear it. But anyone who has ever been in my streams and have had many top players on there, they all come there and call me a scammer and everything under the sun. I'm a scrub. I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. Come on, man. Stop.
What?
Stop.
Does their opinions matter to you though, like deep down?
They don't. But I don't have to make content for those people. You can have that opinion, and I don't care, and I'll go about my life. But part of me not caring and going about my life is not being around those people. I mean, imagine in real life, if there was a group of people where every time you were there were just assholes, 24/7, all they did was shit on you, whatever. You can say, I don't care what those people say, but you wouldn't be around them, right? I can choose to not be around it.
Yeah.
So what I'm choosing is to not be around it anymore. When I was broke and I had nothing going for me in life, I was around it a lot because that's all I had was the FGC. Now that I don't have that anymore and I have a real nice full life and not much time for fighting games anymore, why is the rare free time I have, I'm going to spend in the FGC, who does not respect me and does not care about anything.
No, I understand that. Well, hopefully we can get the debate going. Say that again?
So, Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll debate him.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't chicken out. That would be. I think what will happen is if we can get him to agree to it, if he actually thinks he knows what he's on about, then we'll what I'll agree to do is I'll allow him to have Dragoon on as well, because it will. I know Dragoon thinks he knows it all as well. Then it will be more like 2v2. But I'll let you and Fate talk predominantly, and then we can chime in whenever you guys sort of want us to.
I mean, I could beat them both. I mean, when it comes to lore, I believe they have a big advantage over a lot of people because of lore and history. I'm just one person that you don't want to go down that road with.
Yeah, but there's not even a debate to have lore with. Like, there's so many different versions of Mortal Kombat now.
Who's a real MK fan? Who's an only pro? Who's a real fan of the game?
Yeah, none of that makes any sense. But I need to make sure that if we do it, I need to control that mute button, because Fate doesn't know when to let people talk. He just shouts over them.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, of course, he might have some ad hominem attacks, but we can always nip that in the bud. I mean, just, whatever.
Yeah, I can change people's volume on StreamYards anyway, so I'll just say to him, look, this is your chance to talk, and then you have to let somebody else talk. Because last time it was funny when I did it with him, but I don't think anyone wants to sit through that again.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, if he wants to do it, we'll set it up and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Then we'll see if he.
Thanks for having me on, man.
No worries, bro.
Yeah,
Have a good evening.
Thanks for having me on, Mike. All right. You too. Later.
See you in a bit. What was that? I really wish I remembered her moves. I should really spend more time playing this. I got the gist of how to play this, like the general way you're supposed to approach matches. Like, I get how you have to not be predictable and all that, but man, oh, what the fuck is that? What is that? I got you on the ropes now, son. Oh fuck. Yeah, I don't think the conversation with Fate will happen, because don't get your hopes up, guys. I don't think the conversation with Fate will happen because Fate knows his place. I've told him to stay in his lane before, and I think he will stay in his lane. I don't think he'll come out of his shell to debate. Just sidestep. Yeah, sorry. You know, when I'm new to a game, I tend to, well, obviously I don't know what I'm doing. I just froze up. What's the context behind the beef? I saw some people asking about that. Basically, Tom made a video, a very well received video, made loads of sense, made loads of good points. Fate has wax in his ears, responded to the video, completely misunderstood what Tom was talking about. People in his own comment section was telling him, you don't know what you're on about. He's almost making a similar point to Tom whilst insulting Tom, and then went on to the end of the video to act like some tough guy and be like, you sit the fuck down. You're done talking now. That's time for Fate, and that's a fact. And I was like, what is this guy doing? Is he talking like that? It was quite funny to watch. Well, I listened to it. I didn't watch it. I was driving home when I was watching it. Mr. Moss, thank you for the $50, bro. Where's the cleavage, Mike? Bubba wants to know. That's what you donated $50 to. I appreciate you, bro. Cleavage will be out tomorrow in full swing. I promise you. I'll wake up in the morning. I'll get a chest workout on. I will come back from work, and I'll have the boys out. Wait, pull that up on stream. Like, what do you guys want to watch the end of the video of what he was saying? Do you know what? I don't really want to play it because he said some really nasty shit about Tom, and the way he spoke about Tom, I was like, man, like, why are you talking like that, bro? Like, why are you talking like? He would never talk to Tom like that in person, under no circumstance. First of all, it's just a crazy way to like address somebody. You sit the fuck down. You've had your say, and you stole my talking points. He said that about Maximilian as well. He thinks he came up with the word tourist. I heard people saying tourist back when like the Lich King came out on World of Warcraft. I heard people say, my friend used to say it. Oh, these guys are tourists, man. And he was like, I came up with it. I heard people back when I used to like play in the arcades say tourist. The Third Strike guys would say it to some of the Virtua Fighter guys or whatever, like, because we used to have our arcade cabinets together. And he reacted to a Maximilian video, and I watched some of it, and he was like, he fucking stole my talking points. And I was like, there's no way he just said that. I was cracking up in the gym. I had the audio in my ear. Yeah, I was busted up. Is this a Guna stream now? No, this ain't a Guna stream. Although if you guys want a Guna stream, I can look for a new Japanese or Korean dating simulator. Those were quite funny. It's been like 2 or 3 months since we did one, I think. You don't have to show the part of him shitting on Tom. The thing is that it's scattered all over the video. The video is 2 hours long. So I don't, like, it's so, like, I'll have to like keep pausing it because throughout the whole video he's so condescending. It's, you know, when you're aware that you don't know everything, you tread much more carefully in the way that you speak. So if you notice, there's a few things about a couple of games that I never touch on because I'm like, I don't know enough about that, namely Virtua Fighter. But Fate acknowledges that he doesn't understand the mechanics of the games well enough. He doesn't understand how professional or high level players see things. He doesn't understand it. And then he goes on to complain when professional or high level players or even intermediate focus on the gameplay. And I'm always sitting there like, just do reactions to people that are making comments about things other than the gameplay. Then why are you talking to professional players? Like, we are not professionals in lore, even if they know that, right? Obviously I know the lore of Mortal Kombat. I grew up watching it. I've got comics. I've got the Conquest DVDs. I understand all of that, but that's not what is interesting me right now. And he argues with people that care about gameplay. And I'm just like, there's a big world out there, bro. Go and argue with people that want to talk about the story and the lore and the character designs and the mini games and the Towers of Time and the costumes. Go and do videos on that. Instead, he's talking to Tom. They're trying to get into it with Tom Brady, one of the most decorated Mortal Kombat champions ever. What do you think a decorated Mortal Kombat champion is going to talk about? Fucking gameplay. Like, he's so stupid, it is unreal. Like, it's so mind-numbing. Which is why he's not going to accept the debate, because he already knows. He already knows. He can't have a debate with people like me or Tom. And it's not because I want anyone to get the impression that I think I'm the smartest person in the room. But the impression, no, you're not the impression. What I'm saying is I'm not the smartest person in the room. But Fate is always the dumbest person in the room. And that's why he's always going to lose the conversation. So I suspect he'll make a reaction video. He won't do a debate with Tom. There's just no way. I should play Senran Kagura. I'm not gonna play Senran Kagura on stream, bro. Are you crazy? I think you'd probably get in trouble playing that game on stream, though. Would you be able to get away with playing Senran Kagura on the stream? Dude, that is 100% a Guna game. Yeah, that is a Guna game. Rumble Roses. Okay, Rumble Roses I would play on stream because Rumble Roses plays like Here Comes the Pain. That is actually a good wrestling game. Rumble Roses is one of the best wrestling games out there. Easily. Forget the women and the designs. Rumble Roses as an actual like fighting game is actually really good. Did I see Akuma Monster Hunter? Yeah, I saw that. He looks really cool. He looks really cool. People don't wrestle like that. Yeah, it's a video game, bro. They're gonna take liberties with it. But yeah, Mr. Moss, thank you for that donation, bro. That was very kind of you. Always appreciate you guys. Here Comes the Pain is the best wrestling game of all time. I would agree with you, bro. I would agree with you. Let's see, is there any new dating simulators? New dating simulators, Steam. Oh, I've got hiccups. Dating sims. Let's see what they got. Why did Monster Hunter come up? What the fuck? Oh. Sakura Wars is a good game. I've actually got it. Sakura Wars is actually a good game. I really enjoyed it. Japanese dating sims. I don't want anime ones. I want real life ones. Where are they? Guys, I need you to do a search. We gotta get a new Guna game in here. Am I genuinely interested in dating? So you haven't seen the streams, bro. Those games are sick. They've actually got sick lore. The lore in those games is second to none. It's not anime stuff, King Cold. What, you got wax in your ears? I just said I don't want an anime game. The dating simulators that we played, it's real women. It's real women, bro. Like, am I not speaking English? When are we playing Smash Bros? We are not playing Smash Bros for the time being, bro. If they release a new one, yeah. Probably, but I can't bother to build up Ultimate. I don't even know what my Switch is right now. Dude, I remember the one where the security guard turned out to be the dad. Yeah, bro, that twist was so sick. Because we were like... No, it wasn't the... Oh, no, it was the security guard. There was another one, though, where there was a stalker. And it kept on stalking one of the K-pop stars. Do you remember? And then we finally catch up to the stalker. And it turns out to be her dad. Because he wants to watch over her and make sure that she leads a good life. I was like, W, dad. W, dad, of the stalker get out, making sure that his little girl's okay. That was a good game. 5 Hearts Under One Roof. Was it 5 Hearts Under One Roof that twist was in? I think it was. 5 Hearts Under One Roof was actually sick. We had a good time playing that game, man. There hasn't been a dating simulator as good as that one yet. If anyone finds one, you let me know. We'll definitely stream it. I'll donate 100 if Akuma comes back to Tekken. Mr. Mask, be careful, bro. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he does. I think there's a possibility the next character could be Akuma. The purple could be Akuma. He was a guest character in Tekken 7, but he was also not really, because he's actually a part of the lore. Like, he had a relationship with Kazumi. You know, there was a favor owed there. He impacted the Tekken 7 story. I think there's a chance that Akuma could come back as a Tekken character. I mean, if Akuma comes back, bro, the scene is going to go into absolute meltdown. Roman Reigns Akuma, I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that. Age of Empires 2? Absolutely not, bro. Absolutely not. I'll turn you over to my brother. He plays those kinds of games. Slightly off topic, though. Slightly off topic. I don't mean to change the topic, but... Has anyone been watching the Diddy trial? Oh my god. The Diddy trial is some of the most depraved shit I've ever heard in my life, and we haven't even got into the best part yet. The Diddy trial is mad. It's mad. The things that I'm hearing. Yeah, I don't even, if I say them on stream, I don't even know if I'll get in trouble. Looks like he aged 20 years. I won't. Okay, I'm not gonna say some of the more disgusting things that were said, but the thing that made me laugh the most is Kid Cudi saying to the jury or the defense that he walked into the room and Diddy was standing next to a window with his arms behind his back looking out into the distance like a Marvel villain. That's literally what he said, bro. I was cracking up at the image of Diddy just looking out the window with his arms behind his back like a Marvel villain. Do you know how funny that imagery is? Just with baby lotion all around him, baby oil everywhere. Kid Cudi walks into the room and we've got like super villain laughter. The thing is, yeah, JJBA, let me tell you why, I mean, Diddy's cooked here, but I can see what the defense is trying to go for here. They're trying to, I think what the problem is with the Diddy trial is that they're trying to get him on he's a bad person. And I don't know if that's going to stick. As much as he should go down, I don't know if they're running the best game against Diddy right now. Also, let's not forget, man, this guy has got so many people in his pockets. Like, people are scared of him. There's a chance that there's people in that courtroom that are in his pocket as well. Remember what he said? When people cross Diddy, they disappear. I was like, well, no one's going to speak up then, are they? No one's going to speak up. They just disappear. I'm just like, bro, what? Who is worse, Suge or Diddy? Well, I think we're going to find out more about what Diddy has done. Jay-Z, boy, oh my god. Yeah, what? I should watch what I say, man. I'll just get a knock from, like, hooded figures. Now, the part that made me laugh the most is when she said that Diddy would, I'm pretty sure she said Diddy would wear a hood and stand in the corner of the room masturbating whilst Cassie was having sex with an escort. I was like, excuse me? I had tears in my eyes, bro. I was like, what did you just say? And then afterwards he would tell her to go into another room and rub the, it's so graphic. I don't know if there's children watching. Yeah, I'll leave it there. The Diddy trial is so crazy. Like, me and my friends were at work today just cracking up so much at what we were listening. Hey, Darkseid, get off me, bro. He said, I'm here talking about Diddy and I'm getting fucking ran over. Yeah, get downstairs. Bro, like, if I divulge some of the details in the Diddy trial, I'm pretty sure half the viewers are gonna turn the stream off. It is gnarly stuff. It is gnarly stuff. I'm just like, man, I get it. Like, I get some people are sex pests, but that is next level. At your ass. Alright, man, chill. Oh, he can block. What? Oh. Chill, bro. Oh my god. Yeah, he blew up Kid Cudi's car. And he scared the dog as well. Apparently Kid Cudi came home and someone was like, hey man, by the way, some dude turned up at your house and your car's on fire. I was like, what? This feels like some shit out of GTA. But I don't think he's gonna walk. I don't think he's gonna get away with it. I do think there's a chance he could probably get less time than what some people were alleging, but man, some of the things being said. Wait, alright, let me ask the stream, yeah? I know there's 140 people watching, so I don't expect everybody to respond. But can I divulge one of the more nasty details from the court trial? I want to see what everyone's reactions are. Type 1 in the chat if it's okay for me to divulge that information to you guys. Type 2 in the chat if you're like, no, I don't want to hear it. Alright. We're bored. Am I boring you, pretty dog? Alright, let me tell you. Actually, there's two things. Cassie said that Diddy hired a male escort to pee in her mouth, and initially when it was said, it was like she didn't want it. And to be fair, you know, obviously Diddy's a scary guy, so you've got to appease him to some level. So there is a chance that she could be telling the truth. But then it came out the escort was like, no, she wanted me to pee in her mouth, and she even gave me instructions on how to do it to make it better. And I was like, make it better? What does that mean? And he was instructed to slow it down and then speed up, and then slow it down and then. I was like, excuse me? And then the other thing that made me laugh is Diddy would stand in the corner of the room in a hood, masturbating whilst Cassie was doing it with another guy. And he would have them reapply baby oil to themselves every few minutes, so they were glistening. I'm talking like ridiculous. And then after the escort was finished, he would have, I think I'm remembering this right, he would have Cassie rub the, I'm just going to say this in the most PG way possible, bodily fluids of the person she had just been with on his nipples. I was like, ain't no fucking way. The diddler is a real thing, man. It's a real thing. That's foul, bro. When I heard it, do you know what I was doing? I was sitting in my bed, yeah. I was sitting in my bed. I was looking at my TV screen. I was just sitting there. I was kind of tired, and I was sitting there with my orange juice, and I was just taking a sip of orange juice. I was trying to get some energy. I was like. And they said it, and I literally spat. I was like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, I was like, there's just, lock him up for that specifically. It sounds like a side mission in GTA. It needs to feature in GTA in some way. It's just so bombastic. It's so bombastic. The bed must have nasty. Yeah, they said some of the free cuffs were lasting for days. Where can I watch the video? No, people. So the court trial is not being televised. There's obviously people documenting what's going on and then releasing it to the public. So there's documents online where people are getting it, and then people are like compiling the information and putting it into videos. You can watch a lot of it on True Geordie's channel. You can watch it on Aber and Preach. They're documentary. Everyone's doing it. Asmongold has been doing it. It's something, man. It is really something. Every time I hear a new detail in there, I'm like, man, that shit's crazy. And now, do you guys remember? Did you guys ever hear the leaked audio allegedly? Before I get fucking in trouble, did you guys ever hear the alleged leaked? Do you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. That's probably not a good idea. We'll wait until the trial concludes. I don't want my car to randomly catch fire. I still can't believe Diddy just got his kids sitting listening to all this shit, bro. Yeah, see, Izzy already knows what it is. That audio is absolutely haunting. It is absolutely haunting. You heard it. Yeah, you probably didn't sleep that night. That audio is haunting. It's too much. It's too much. Have you guys ever seen that video of Diddy? He's sitting with, I think he's sitting with Fabulous. He's sitting with some rappers, and he's talking to the rappers, and he goes to one of them. Oh, why don't you invite me to your birthday? Why don't we hang out? And the guy's like, oh, you know, well, I don't know. I didn't really. And he was like, I'll take you shopping. And the other guy's looking like, what? Take another man shopping? And then they're doing something. I can't remember. They're on the table. They were doing something. Like, I don't know if they were eating or they were drinking. Oh no, they were drinking. They were cheersing to something. They were drinking. And then he turns around and goes, I like the way you do that, daddy. And Fabulous is looking at him like, what the fuck did he just say? Alright, bro. I swear to God, that shit. I was crying. He kept to call the other guy daddy. And he was doing it more and more aggressively. And I was like, man, this is a lot. And the other rappers are sitting there looking. And I could see the look of fear on their face. I could. They didn't have to say anything. I knew, just looking at them. Because if another grown man spoke to them like that, I think they would have crashed out. They didn't say shit. They just sort of like nodded their head. And one of them, he's in the frame for 1 second, and I think you see him backing away, and he just leaves. He's like, yeah, I'm not staying here. They're scared. Yeah, bro, dude, I would be scared as well. Have you heard the stories of Diddy? Like, people just disappearing. I don't even know if you can say, I think you can say it. There's a lot of like allegations that you might catch a cold, let's just say, if you're not careful. How do you know I didn't attend one of those Diddy parties? Bro, do you think they would let me leave? I'd be finished. One of my friends said to me, don't ever go to prison, Mike. They'll see your long hair, it'll be over for you. I said to him, no, don't worry, man, I'm on my best behavior. Was it ever confirmed that Diddy was involved in Tupac's death? I don't think so. I don't think so. I wouldn't be surprised though. Man, Hollywood is just But you know what I find funny about all of this? Look at all the information that we're getting about the Diddy thing. And that's good. It's good that we should hear it. But look how airtight they were when it came to another individual that was doing terrible things to people, we'll say. Children. We won't say his name. I won't say his name out loud on stream because I know what YouTube's like. Yeah, King Cold knows. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's good that we're getting all this information. Hopefully more of them get taken down, but yeah, this whole situation is crazy, man. The whole situation is crazy. Probably gonna, like, when I finish the stream, probably gonna check it out and see if anything else has happened. Nah, not Drake. King Cold already said it. Just look at the chat. Oh, I did watch Mission Impossible, by the way. The new Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. Chef's kiss. What a fantastic... If that is the last one, Tom Cruise didn't miss the entire franchise. There's no bad Mission Impossible films. There's no bad Mission Impossible films. They're all sick. He did not miss the entire time. There's one scene in the new Mission Impossible film that is so intense. It wasn't the best Mission Impossible, don't get me wrong, it wasn't the best. But it was pretty fucking good. Even 2. No, I think 2's sick. I like 2. It might not be the best, but it's still great. It's still a great film. It might be the weakest one out of the whole franchise, but it's still a great film. I think it's elevated even more when you have all these other ones with in there too. What's the best one in my opinion? Man, that's tough. The best one in my opinion is probably Ghost Protocol. Is Ghost Protocol the one with Henry Cavill? Dun, 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 dun. No, Ghost Protocol's not the one with Henry Cavill. It's not Rogue Nation. It's Mission Impossible 6. Yeah, Mission Impossible 6. That's the best one. Fallout. Mission Impossible Fallout. That's my favorite one. Yeah. Ballerina. Yeah, Ballerina. I'll be watching. Of course, it's a John Wick film, so I'll be checking it out. Of course, like in the film, Tom Cruise had to do his famous run. I'm just like, dude, this guy's 60 years old. He's a goddamn machine. And some of the stunts in this film are so crazy. They're so crazy. And I was like, there's no way. There's no way he's doing this. And then I watched the behind the scenes and he's saying in the behind the scenes, if we make a single mistake here, I'm going to die. And I'm like, damn, he's actually doing that for real. When you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I was just like, oh, I was watching it and I sat forward in my seat. But you know one thing, I've had really bad luck with Mission Impossible. It's my favorite franchise. Every time I go to watch it, I've got some idiot next to me. This time I had this woman snoring and I got angry and I slammed my fist on the, I slammed my palm on the chair and she woke up and she didn't say anything to me. I just looked at her and she looked at me. I thought she was going to start on me and she didn't say anything. I was like, cool, she understands. Like, we're trying to watch a film, you're snoring. What does she do? She goes back to sleep and starts snoring again. I was like, bro, what the fuck? So I moved. I went and sat in the disabled seats, well away from her. I did what? I slammed my fist on the. We've got little tables in front of our cinema chairs, and I slammed my fist on it, and I was like, I didn't say anything to her, but like, why are you sleeping? First of all, why are you sleeping in a Mission Impossible film? Do you know how loud this film is? And it's kind of disrespectful as well, you know. Tom Cruise put a lot of effort into that. By the way, Mike, did you notice MK got a cameo in the new Finalized Nation movie? Yeah, I know. I saw one of the characters playing it. How could you not? He made a whole spiel about not interrupting on Ranked. Yeah, let's talk about the new Finalized Nation film actually, because I saw some of your comments and I was like, these guys, are they being for real? Now, I know the new Finalized Nation was well received by critics, but I don't go to critics for my opinions. I'm surprised at a lot of you. I thought you were people of culture. You think the new Finalized Nation film is the best one? Are you mad? The new Finalized Nation film is a comedy. It is a comedy. It's not a horror film, it's a comedy. Like, the new one is full of characters trying to make you laugh. Most of it is filmed in the daytime. Even one of the characters' relationships with death is almost comedic. I was like, how are these people saying this is the best one? Final Destination is meant to be a horror film. And one of the best things about Final Destination is that most of the deaths in the older ones, you were like, damn, I could actually die like that. You know how many people that have driver's licenses that are traumatized by the logs? If you've seen Final Destination 2, you already know what I'm talking about. Like, there's no death scenes in this new Final Destination film where you go, man, that could happen to me. Not a single death in this film did you go, damn, I never thought I could die like that. They're so cartoonishly stupid. Yo, this lag is saying a lot. And even like even the roller coaster ride, like the roller coaster ride is like, I remember watching that, and then I remember my friends were like, "Oh, do you want to go Thorpe Park?" And I was like, "No, why the fuck would I do that? Did you not just watch the same film as me?" There's nothing in this film that makes you go, "Oh, I could die like that." The guy stepping on glass, that he stepped on the glass, he was like, "I'm alright, guys, I'm alright." I was like, is this a scary movie? You're not alright. A glass just went through your foot. And then everyone watched his face get run over. Like, nobody would watch that happen. At no point have I ever been like, "Oh, I'm death by lawnmower to the face." The film was just so, it was just done in such a contrived way. And I also didn't like the fact that they put such emphasis on this coin. Like, before it used to be so discreet. Like, death would kill you in a way where it made itself look like it wasn't there, like there wasn't a presence or an entity following you around. In this, it was so absurd. It was like he was announcing himself. They even referred to death as a he. And in the original Final Destination films, if you look around, like if you just look at the first film, there's a lot of like imagery in the surrounding areas before they die that kind of let you know something is gonna happen. They give you hints. There's none of that in this film. None of it. Zero. And then, what do? They have the most cop-out ending of all of them. Not to mention, the film is rife with CGI. Like, the CGI is so over the top. It's so over the top. Like, I don't know how you could go into that film with prior knowledge of Final Destination. And the thing is, people kept on bringing up Final Destination 4. Mike, that's the worst one. No, it's not. This is the worst one. I'll tell you why. Because the film centers around death. If I don't feel fear for the death that you are presented to me on the screen, you have failed. In Final Destination 4, there's still 2 death scenes. In that film, I was like, oh, that could actually happen. That filled me with a little bit of fear. The one that really fucked me up is the swimming pool death. That death scene alone was enough to make me go, oh, man, didn't realize you could die like that. I actually looked into it. There's also a channel online that covers all the people that have actually died in that fashion after the films have come out, which is also really creepy, that people are dying in the way that they are in the films after the films come out. But I don't. They haven't done it for the new film. I don't imagine anyone is going to die in any of those ways because they're so far-fetched. Final Destination Final Destination 1 shower scene. Yeah, dude, the shower scene freaks me out as well. Do you know why? You know that rope that wrapped around his neck? I've got the same, not a rope, but like the thing you turn the light on with. I've got the same one in my bathroom. And I remember walking in and looking at it and being like, nah. So, do you know, till this day, when I go to have a shower, the first thing that I do before I take off my clothes and turn the water on is I get that string that you turn the light on and I put it on top of somewhere and I put the flower plant on top of it. I shut the windows. Bro, Final Destination, they did things before that made you second guess yourself when you were outside. This film is shit. It did not serve its purpose. It had no subliminal messaging at all. It was too funny. It was filmed in the daytime. The soundtrack was not very good. The climax was super anticlimactic. The character work was like MCU level dribble. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know how you could have seen other Final Destination films and say this one was the best one. Absolutely insane take to me. I don't know what is going on with this fight, but a Golden Prime might be able to bring it. No, he's dead. Will there be a Helldivers live stream? Probably not. I play Helldivers with my in my personal time. I don't think anybody would want to watch me playing Helldivers. Rate the movies based off of the opening disasters. Well, I mean, Farthest Nation 1 is the most terrifying one, obviously, because nobody likes flying. So they made flying horrible for everyone. So yeah, Farthest Nation 1, then Farthest Nation 2, because, you know, as a driver, what happened in Farthest Nation 2 is actually very possible. Very, very possible. Also, you know, as a driver, I have driven behind a truck that has logs on it, and I gotta tell you, I'm not wearing a bow tie, but I was going like this the whole time. I was like, man, I need to change lanes. Then Farthest Nation 3. Farthest Nation 4's death scene, I was like, I think they chose a pretty shit one, because like NASCAR, as far as I'm aware, is an American thing only. And when I watched it, I was like, I would never be at a NASCAR race. You know? I don't know any British people that would. We don't have NASCAR over here. So I was a bit like, eh. Farthest Nation 5, yeah, I mean, I've been in tall buildings. That is obviously scary. I just didn't like the CG in Farthest Nation. Oh, no, not 5, sorry. 5 is the bridge. Yeah, Farthest Nation 5 is, I'd say, the 4th scariest. Then 6. And then 4. 4 is the least scariest for the opening scene, just because it's not relatable for me. I wouldn't. I'll probably never go to a NASCAR race, you know. So, and even if I did, it seemed very, very far fetched. What they should do with Farthest Nation is they should kill people in places that are heavily populated, things that we do every day, things that we can't avoid. That's why Farthest Nation 1 and Farthest Nation 2. And even 5 are thick, because, you know, I have to cross a bridge when I go to see my friend's house, and I don't like doing it. And I have to drive, so Farthest Nation 2 is obviously going to be terrifying. And I have to fly, because, you know, you have to fly, for most of us anyway. So, yeah. Not looking forward to... I don't like it when I'm about to get on the plane and someone's like, hey, do you remember Farthest Nation? I'm just like, why would you say that? Why would you say that? Yo, Micah just subbed. Well, it's about time, King Cold. You've been there this whole time. You only just subbed. Thank you, though. I think a Farthest Nation disaster that would scare me is, what one would really scare me? Oh, do you know what else was why I give Farthest Nation 4 a pass? Wasn't Farthest Nation 4 the one that had the car wash death scene? The car wash death scene, I remember seeing that and then going through a car wash, and I remember being like, man, that could actually happen. Anyone ever seen the show 1,000 Ways to Die? I've seen the movie. Isn't there a Wild West movie? Didn't she get saved though? I'm pretty sure she didn't. She didn't get saved. Didn't something happen to her head? Like something cut her head. They tried to save her, but they failed. It's a show. No, 1,000 Ways to Die was a movie. There might be a TV show now. There might be a TV show now, but there was a movie called 1,000 Ways to Die as well. Well, we playing this on PlayStation 5, bro. First time I saw a video of you was like months ago when you talked about MK1 for about 40 minutes or so, and then never seen you again until like two or three streams. Yeah, sometimes you just drop out of the YouTube algorithm. Weird how it works. Yeah, I know it's a TV show. I'm not saying it's not. I'm saying it's also a movie. I've seen the movie. The one thing I remember was the tanning bed death scene from Farthest Nation 3. I've got 2 friends, 2 white girls that like going to get tans. And I remember when that film came out. And I remember saying to them, hey, you're looking pretty pale these days, ladies. And they were like, shut up, Mike. And I was like, is it because we went to watch Farthest Nation? I think they've gone back to them now, but I think that tanning death scene fucked up a lot of girls. A lot of girls I spoke to that go to tanning beds, they felt very uncomfortable after watching that. Wasn't there also a movie that had real deaths in it, or recreations of real deaths for shock value? Sounds like you're watching a snuff film, bro. Would I play MK vs KI? Yeah, if they brought it out and it was good, I'd give it a try. I don't think what other films scared me when I was a kid. The Ring and The Grudge always scared me. I always hated those films. When am I playing Tekken 8 again? I might stream Combo Breaker for the fuck around video. And the next time I'm gonna play Tekken 8, I will do Tekken 8 streams again. Is when fuck around comes out, because then there'll actually be a character that I want to play, and we'll be getting closer to the. Sorry, I got hiccups. We'll be getting closer to the June update, the big defensive patch. So. Yeah, Tekken streams will resume once Fuckarama's come up. Is Tekken 6 good? Yeah, Tekken 6 is awesome. Not a big fan of the rage mechanic, obviously, but in hindsight, you know, it's a lot less to deal with than what we're dealing with today. I'm surprised we never got a Capcom vs SNK game. What? Hey, Forbidden Azure, have you been under a rock, bro? There's Capcom vs SNK 1 and Capcom vs SNK 2. There's a show that I really used to love watching. What was it called? The ABCs. Yeah, it came out in 2012. The ABCs of Death. That's an interesting show. I think it's on Netflix. Have I got the Capcom Fighting Collection? No, I haven't bought it yet because I've been working so much. It's just like, I'm not going to play it right now, so I ain't going to buy it just yet. Damn, a fist went through her neck. Man, I got a long day at work tomorrow, guys. Long ass day at work. Is Combo Breaker top 8 tomorrow for Tekken, or is it on Sunday? I'm stuck at work and I'm done with everything. Why are you stuck at work, bro? Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay? Bro, you trying to trigger me? Listen, if you put pineapple on your pizza, if you put pineapple on your pizza, Fate is your favorite YouTuber by default. Hey, what's going on, Trigon Cooper? How you doing, bro? Nah, man. Pineapple's my favorite fruit, Urban Boy. It's my favorite fruit. But you don't put pineapple on pizza. Just the same way, you don't put strawberries on a brownie. I'm seeing these people putting strawberries on their brownies or strawberries on their chocolate cake or whatever. I'm like, what are you doing? You're trying to be healthy. You're eating chocolate. Just indulge. Ever had sardines with pizza? Bro, you are one comment away from getting timed out. What kind of heathen are you? Sardines with pizza? That is atrocious. No man, sardines with pizza. That is unbelievable. I've seen Oreos in burgers. Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, I watched this YouTuber called Tyler Oliveira, and I'm always amazed at some of the things that I see Americans eating. No offense, guys. I know most of you here are American, but some of the things that you guys eat, I'm just like, I think I would vomit straight away. Yo, Mike, when are we hitting gym? I don't know, bro. Do you live in London? Nothing we eat is as bad as beans on toast. Bro, beans on toast is so tame. Yeah, it's boring, but it's pretty low calorie. Decent energy from it. Inconsequential. You guys have... Oh, I watched this thing the other day on Tyler Oliveira's channel about a place in America. Wait, let me just find it. It was crazy. Yeah, I investigated Utah's deadly soda addiction. So, they don't really drink anything in Utah other than soda. No water, no nothing. They're drinking gallons of soda. Just soda, that's it. T-Word, thank you for the 12 months, bro. Big up T-Word, love the streamer. Got a jet, but def catch next one. I appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Alright, Izzy, take care, bro. Bro, the soda video was crazy to me. Like, they were drinking so much Coke and Pepsi, and there was something else. And I was like, oh my god, their insides must be screaming. Mike, you have to be slow on another level to believe there's an entire state of people only drinking soda. Dude, it's on video. It is on video. They got statistics and everything. Does Utah have a soda problem? Yes, Utah is known for its strong, dirty soda culture. A trend where sodas are customized with cream, syrups, and other ingredients. It's a significant cultural phenomenon. Yeah, they do have a soda problem. They got a big soda problem.
Okay, ready anytime. I can't avoid this fight. Get ready, fight.
Wait, where's my nice costume, mate? What happened there? It's not true. I mean, you guys have a soda problem in general. Like, you guys have got a high calorie problem in general. No? Like, they say everything's bigger in Texas, but for us, everything is bigger in America. Hey, can I play the game? Get off me, bro. Yeah, because we eat actual food. I'd be very careful with those choice of words, to be honest with you. I had my look at American food. We were looking at it once when I was in Cyprus, and I was like, she was like, "Oh, this is what these people eat." It was cut in her Greek accent. I was like, yeah. Their burgers are like the same size as my head. They're like, how could they eat this stuff? It's disgusting. I was like, hey, tell them you're not me. I don't eat that shit. I can cook, Alexis. What are you talking about? Alexis just like slandering me because I reject her advancements to send me feet pictures. I told her, listen, you keep that shit off of my timeline. Like, you not see the cross around my neck. I've told her 100 times. Yeah, listen, I am not that kind of gooner. All right. So she slanders my name. I've told her 100 times. Listen, I want to see your feet. I don't want to see them. Leave the dogs in the slippers. She keeps sending me feet pics. I'm like, I don't open them, so I don't even know what they look like. So you can stop sending them, Alexis. I don't open them. I don't open the pictures. Imagine what a UK Thanksgiving plate looks like. We don't have Thanksgiving here, mate. What can I cook? Well, I mean, if you've ever seen me playing Alexis on Tekken, I'd say that's a good cooking. So you can do a mean Stouffer's lasagna is what you're saying. I don't know about all that. But I did make some nice honey chicken the other day with some rice. I had some eggs in the morning, some pineapples. I have to try Middle Eastern and Turkish food. I eat Middle Eastern food all the time. My friend is from Iraq. As a matter of fact, she called me earlier. Actually, she thinks I'm angry at her. But yeah, no, my friend is from Iraq. Maybe one day I'll bring her on stream. She's quite a funny character. And I've eaten Turkish food, obviously. I've eaten Turkish food. We got loads of Turkish restaurants around here. Do I eat fish? Some. I like tuna. I like salmon. I ate more fish when I went to Japan. I had a lot of okonomiyaki, but I don't remember what was inside it. I know there was fish in it, but I just don't remember what it was because I ate it from my friend's plate. I probably tried doner. Bro, there's kebab places all over here. I've tried doner, of course. Of course. I'm half Greek, King Code. So, you know, Greeks did invent kebabs, which that's gonna trigger him. It came from us first. Yeah, Noxy, I don't listen. This is the way it works. Yeah, I go out and I work long hours. Yeah, when I come back, I expect food to be there. Yeah? I expect food to be there. And I tell my sisters, if the food's not there, I'm going to be very, very, very mad. I'm going to be pissed. And they're like, well, we don't want you to be upset, Mike. And I'm like, you're damn right you don't want me to be upset. When I come home, there's a nice big plate of food. I slam my fist on the table. I'm like, good. We've averted a crisis. Can I speak Greek? Not well. I could understand it when people are talking to me sometimes. Obviously, like I understand the basics like Gali Nifta, Gali Mera. But my Greek is not good as it should be. But so when they're talking to me, I can make out what's going on. Sometimes. If they just start like rattling off, then I'm like, I don't know what you're on about. Sorry, mate, I'm not that Greek. I work long hours and my missus has to cook me food when I get in. You know what? I'm partially playing Nashi. Like they're usually happy to cook. Like I'll walk in and like sometimes I'll see Ellie or Chelsea eating and I'll just steal from their plate. Especially because they can't do anything. I just like hold Chelsea's head in place. She's like, Michael, let me go, and I'm just there yamming her chicken. I'm like, wait, hold on. She's like, oh, you're. And then she starts like swearing at me, and I just like, shut up, I've eaten your chicken already. Alright, Super Saiyan Cake, no worries, bro. We'll catch you soon. Order me stuffed crust pizza with sea jerky and spinach for toppings. Bro, that sounds absolutely horrific. I would never make an order like that. That is a diabolical order. So you are the nephew of Socrates. What the fuck? How mad am I getting? Bro, I get cross. I walk in, I'm like, if the food isn't there, it's about to be peak. About to be peak. You'll see Ellie with a bruising around. Oh, I'm joking. Someone's gonna clip that. If I come home and chat shit to them, I just get shouted at. So I'm like, hey guys, if I see food, I look around to make sure if no one's looking, and then I walked downstairs just before I came onto the stream, and Ellie was like making garlic bread. And she was, oh, hey, Mike, how was work, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, it was good, but not as good as what you were making there. And she stared at me. And I was staring at her. I was like, have you got any spare? She was like, no. And I was like, what are you doing with that one? It was like, and she looked at me, she was like, I'm going to eat it. And I was like, are you? She was like, yeah. And I was like, you sure? Am I interested in the Switch 2? Yeah, I am, but I'm not paying that much. I ain't paying that much for the Switch 2. If I can't get my hands on it for free or like at a discounted rate, I'm not buying that at full price. No way. So kinda did a cooking stream. Well, it's a good thing that I don't copy people then, because I definitely won't be doing one. The only time they're gonna see me cooking is when you're fighting me in Tekken. Oh, I can't wait for Fakaram to come out. He cooked chicken biryani. Oh, okay, I've had chicken biryani. My ex used to make it for me. She used to make the roti as well. Roti. And she would do it with her bare hands. And I was like, your hands are so soft. How are you touching it bare like that? That's crazy. They're like, it's in the pan. She's there doing. I'm like, what are you doing, babe? That could never be beef. Am I playing fuck your mum when he comes out? Yes. Yes, I am. Hey, I could learn a thing or two from this Mila player. Oh, it's X-Mac. Couldn't even realize. Damn, he killed her.
That was a great fight.
Hey, look at the wink. What are your thoughts on what? Jellied ills? Oh, bro, I'd never put an ill in my mouth. You must be crazy. Yeah, Tekken streams will resume as soon as Fakaram comes out. Give me like a day or two to mess around with him so that I can get up to speed. We can do some streams cooking people, and then Tekken streams will be. I think we've taken enough of a break They're good. They're doing a big patch for it. I think I'll be interested to see how this patch goes. You just saw the tweet from the MK. Alexis, I tried to tell you. You were like, nope. No, Michael, you're wrong. I'm telling you, there's more stuff. I was like, there's nothing coming. Nothing. What's the harder game, MK1 or Tekken 8? Well, with MK1, it's hard because you have to, it feels like you're dragging your nuts through glass when you're playing it. So mentally speaking, just turning on MK1 is really pretty difficult. So I'd say MK1, because you got to think, it's not just about execution or how easy it is to play. The mental stack of putting garbage in your PlayStation, that's the real challenge. Look at that combo. I find the timing and cameo system makes it harder than ever. No, MK1 is the easiest NRS era Mortal Kombat by far. Not even close. It goes, I think MK... Yeah, MK9 is the hardest, I think. And then MKX, and then MK11, and then MK1. Right, it's almost 12:30. We'll do one more game after this, and then I've got to get up early for work, guys. Did I stream tomorrow? And if so, what will I stream? Maybe Fate will pull his balls out of his purse and actually agree to do the debate, and then maybe that will be the stream. Or if not, then we'll definitely stream Combo Breaker Top 8 on Sunday. That'll be fun. Nah, King Cold, I'm telling you, bro. MK1's the easiest one. Definitely the easiest one. The shittest one, so maybe that's what's difficult for you. Dragging your face through mud is not an easy thing. Alright, final match. There's some combos that are too hard. Do you think so? I don't think so. I think MK1's... I've never done a combo in MK1 that was hard to do. Second players have dementia, all this happy time because season 2 fixed, and fuck around comes out busted. Kill balance, people don't remember how broke a fuck was when he came out of Tekken 7. People do remember, bro. That's why there was so much backlash. What are you talking about? People remember. That's why when people saw him initially, they were like, oh my god, they've really put this guy back in the game. Why do you think that reaction, half of the reaction was? It was people going, shit, don't you remember what he did to us in Tekken 7? And people remember full well what happened. But at the end of the day, there is a balance patch coming out. God damn it, beat the fuck out of you. There's a balance patch coming out. They might fix things, so we'll see in it. We'll see how it goes. Ah, my ex-Mac, Jesus. Putting a beating on you. My man can't breathe. Do I think Sub-Zero Cyrax combos would be easy for you, Mike? I would need to look at them first. But, I mean, I could do pretty difficult combos in MKX. And I've never seen anything in MK1 that looks difficult to do. So, unless they're like an exception. You said they're easy. Yeah, everything that I've seen in MK11 is easy. Sorry, MK1. I've never seen anything hard. I mean, fighting games have gotten easier over time. It's not an MK1 thing. I don't want anyone to get it twisted. I'm not singling out MK1. All fighting games have gotten easier. All of them. The combos in Tekken 8 are easier to do than Tekken 7. The combos in the new Guilty Gear game are easier to do. All the combos in the new fighting games are easier. So if the newer fighting games are your only point of reference, they might look hard. But if you've played the older fighting games, then you know that they're not. You know what hasn't gotten easier? Fortnite Loki. I don't know anything about Fortnite, so you could educate me on that. Alright, this is actually the last match. I want to see this match. MK1 is still harder than 11. You reckon? I mean, maybe. I don't know. I don't think so, but fair enough. I remember when they sold frame data, this problem with Season 2 was shown to a lot of gaming fans, but Harada and Bamco were scummy, especially in the end of Tekken 7. Yeah, I mean, they have done a lot of scummy things. They have done, which reminds me, I haven't heard from Frame Whisperer in a long time. I don't think he's been online. Is he just, I think he's taken a complete break. When's the last time he uploaded? 2 months ago. And he streamed 1 month ago. Yeah, I think he's done. Damn, end of an era. People back then sold frame. Yeah, they sold frame data to us in Tekken 7. It was an absolute travesty. We couldn't believe our eyes. We couldn't believe our eyes. They sold us frame data. Do you know how crazy that is, bro? How disrespectful that is. I felt slighted when that happened. But we'll see. We should see the fuck around gameplay on Sunday, I guess. So that will be exciting. Hopefully, like I finish work at 6:30, so I should be home by 7:30. So hopefully I catch it in time. But I'll definitely turn the stream on. They charge money for frame data. You guys didn't know. Is Tekken 8 your first one? Well, let me tell you something. Yeah, imagine being playing Tekken since Tekken 1. Yeah, I started on Tekken 1. And for it to get to the point where we're sold frame data, do you know, like when they did that, I really looked at my friends sideways. I was like, they really think we're dickheads. Now, I never paid for it. I was like, I'm not paying for fucking frame data. Do I like an idiot to you? But I thought it was absolutely diabolical they did that. Oh, X-Mac might take it. He's looking at a perfect here. Looking at a perfect. Nope. Robbed. Oh, we might be seeing a comeback. Nope. Alright, guys. I appreciate you rocking with me for 3.5 hours. Sorry for being 30 minutes late to the stream. Mr. Mask, thank you very much for your generous donation. I will try and get the boys out tomorrow. But I'm gonna get some sleep because I got a long shift at work tomorrow. And if you don't see me streaming tomorrow, I will be streaming on Sunday. We'll do Combo Breaker Top 8 and we'll check out Fakuram. So until then, guys, take care of yourselves, have a good day, and peace.